So this is the thing, the experimental fonts API, which allows
Yeah.
basically to do some font stuff. Uh, like through a unified API, you can say, okay, I want the Roboto font from Google, and then Astro will figure out what to download, etc. And then as a user, you'll be able to like to use these fonts in your code, like via CSS or
Yeah.
whatever. So that's the general thing. And
Yeah.
to do all of this, we leverage Vite, which is like the bundler, to do all sorts of
Yeah.
things, including intercepting requests, writing files to the file system, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of the public way of saying like of presenting it, and then
Sure. Before you tell me the life story of the code,
yeah.
what do you want to try to do today? So you wanted to improve this feature somehow. What behavior can you describe generally what kind of behavior you want to add?
So actually, I don't really want to add something. Like I'm pretty happy with how the public
Okay.
API is. There are just some
Okay.
parts internally that are not ideal in terms of, for example, testing or this kind of stuff. And this is what I want
Okay,
to
so
improve.
there's no external behavior that you want to change. You would like to, I guess, I don't know if you would like to preserve all that, but certainly there's some external behavior that you want to preserve, which is probably the stuff that you just showed me.
Yeah, yeah, the public API should
Okay.
remain unchanged.
Okay. All right. So then we really are just trying to add safety to the code base right now.
Yeah, that'd be my goal.
I guess add safety. What would you say is which would you say is the bigger of your two goals for today? To add safety or to improve the design?
Yeah, I would say more improving the design actually.
All right. Okay. Do you have in your mind um, a particular way that you want to improve the design, but you're not sure how to do it safely, or you don't even know yet what you'd like to do to improve the design?
I have some ideas. Yeah.
Okay. And are those like is there one central idea that you want to focus on, or are there just a bunch of little things that you think you might want to try to do? Does one of those ideas stand out as the thing I want to make sure that we start doing today?
Mm, yeah, I guess for today, like what there is one function that does too much. Essentially, like there are a lot of stuff that can
Okay.
be split apart, better refactored. Yeah, that's like yeah, there is really one
Okay.
function we'll be focusing on, I think.
Okay. So we can use that as the starting point, and then probably in the process, we will notice some other things and we will manage that as we go.
Sounds good.
Okay. Um, so then you're going to do all the typing,
Yep.
and my goal is to provide some strategy and to provide some, to also help to be some extra working memory for you. So I have I have my paper and pen here to make sure that we don't lose anything important.
Okay.
Um, what is your personal goal? So what do you want from this session? Not the code, but you.
I mean, I want to learn how to better architect code, I guess,
Okay.
and
So you're
maybe
hoping
like
to
how to
are you
better
hoping to
test.
see some designs? Are you hoping to see some design ideas that you didn't see before, or are you mostly just hoping to do something that you've wanted to do but you have been afraid to do?
No, I would say the former, and like confirming what
Okay.
I've been doing is not too bad, or how we can improve because it's
Okay.
still fairly early in the process. I mean, this like the principles I've been applying to the experimental font API, I haven't been applying them to other parts of Astro that much so far, so that could also be
Okay.
used to validate the approach.
Okay, so a little bit of let's make sure I'm not crazy, and a little bit of maybe he will see something that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Anything else?
Mm, no, I think that's fine. Maybe like checking that tests are done in the right way as well. Um, but I suppose that is very related to how the code is structured.
Well, so I mean, I'm trying to get a little bit of a feeling for uh, what focus areas or where you want to emphasize things, because it can be very easy, especially in a first session, to just uh, you all of a sudden you see 12 things that you didn't see before, and then it can be difficult to focus.
Okay, okay,
Um, and so, and sometimes it can be it's pretty common in a first session that you know we expect that we want to focus over here, but then in the process we discover that we really actually need to focus over there.
okay.
Um, so I just a little bit want to have some idea
Sure.
what what you would like to have happen, because I mean the code is one thing, but ultimately what I want is for you to feel like you are uh, you know slightly closer in the end of these 2 hours or however long we spend, that you are a few steps closer to I can better steps on my own. Um,
Okay.
that's not to say that after 2 hours I'm going to say now, Florian, good luck for the rest of your life. But you know,
Yeah.
it. I want to make sure that if you're going to end this session with one or two new things, I would like to increase the chances that they are things that you care about.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so I think I have a pretty good idea. So we can use this one function that does too much as a starting point for discussion, and I will try to focus on improving the design over adding safety. And you are going to provide all the, well, other people led by you are going to provide all the language specific knowledge that I don't have, and we will see what happens.
Okay. Perfect.
Great. And if anything that I just said there sounds wrong, now would be a good time to tell me.
No, I think it's it's all reasonable. Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. All right. Reasonable is a great start. Okay. So, um, usually people in this situation have the impulse to tell me the life story of the code. I don't think I need that. So, um, how about we just take a look at the function that you believe is too long and start deciding what to do with it?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Uh,
First things
yeah.
first. Are you clean? So, are there any uncommitted changes?
No, it's clean.
Okay. And I don't know how you prefer to work. So, if you care about having a branch, now's a good time. And if you don't, then I'm happy to.
Yeah, we can make a branch.
Is that how you prefer to work?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I usually do stuff on a branch and commit regularly. Just have a draft pull request as we go. That's nice.
Okay. Instead of fonts refactor, we have well, maybe not. Never mind.
I mean,
I'll let that go.
the name is already taken,
I
so
was thinking about naming the branch closer to what we're actually going to try to do, but maybe we let that be a little bit free for now.
okay.
Uh, yes, the fact that you actually already have
Yeah.
a branch with that name is interesting. That's really common. People have a tendency to just start with, refactor, because we genuinely don't know what we're doing. All that matters right now is that we have a reset point. So it almost
Hmm.
doesn't matter what you call it.
Gotcha.
We're probably going to rename this branch at some point once we actually figure out what the hell we're doing.
All right. Perfect.
Okay. So show me this function you don't like.
All right. So just as a little introduction, the way I've set up
Mm-hmm.
this thing is I have some business logic, which is like one
Mm-hmm.
function does one thing, pretty
Mm-hmm.
isolated. And
Mm-hmm.
then these functions can use some abstractions or Like they have dependencies,
Okay.
and these dependencies have definitions, so just how they should behave, like a hasher,
Okay.
whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
in this infra folder, I have actual implementations for each of these
Okay.
definitions, and sometimes a given definition has various implementations. For example, dev and build versions, something like that.
Okay.
And with all of this stuff, then I have this big orchestrate function, which basically takes all of these and compose it
Mm-hmm.
together. So I'm going
Okay.
to remove this for now and remove this as well.
Yeah. And could I get that font about 20% bigger?
Yeah, like this.
That's not bad. Let's try that. I'll yell if I need bigger. Okay. So is this where the long function is?
Yeah, as you can see on the right, there is a lot of stuff in there, like it's 300 lines long.
Is that one function?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because actually at the start it wasn't this bad, but I mean,
Of course not.
little by little we had little logs
Of
and
course.
then stuff, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it blows
Oh,
up.
that's normal. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
that's why. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like
Yeah.
we need to do something about it.
Yeah. No, if you did that as if that was your first draft, then I'd be running away right now. Don't worry.
Maybe that will, but I won't tell you.
Hmm. And all of a sudden we see some comments in the chats about oh, you should take a look at this. So, all right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about why it bothers you that this function is so long.
Okay, so actually one reason for this is it makes testing it quite hard actually. Like my test
Yeah.
file, each time I have to specify a bunch of unrelated things, which is like kind of the opposite
Okay.
of what I wanted with this design at all.
Okay. And
Uh,
how does it hurt you that the unrelated that you have to you know specify these unrelated things?
um, I mean, it just makes it harder to test in a way because like I have to provide all of these things. I don't know exactly what they are doing for what I'm testing in particular. And even in some cases, I think I have some wrong abstractions where I use some actual implementations. I mean, this test is really what make me think like this is not designed correctly.
Okay. That's what kind of want to understand more. So I heard things like, um, for this dependency, I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to do with it. For that dependency, I'm not sure whether I'm using the production implementation or some abstraction. So is this uncertainty, uh, let's say on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 is the worst. How uh, how big a problem is this uncertainty for you?
I would say it's pretty low because I know how it works. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So then what is giving you the motivation to, where's the motivation coming from to deal with this today?
so there are a few things, I guess. One thing is I want to push this architecture like for more things in Astro. So if I can use this fonts feature as an example, or to uh, convince people, I think that's great. Also as a learning opportunity, not just for me, but just for more people on the core team, for example.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right. So
and just then
you
it
want
bothers me.
you want to have something that you can point to um, and feel proud of, and as an example for other people to follow.
I mean, not feel proud of, just have something that works well, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if
And
that
what would it
answers it.
need to work well for you?
Hmm, good question. Uh, I mean, I guess I don't know how to say that or what like if, yeah
Say it the best way you can.
I wasn't expecting all these questions to be fair. But that's great. No, I mean,
Sorry,
I'm not.
did nobody warn you that when you got me there would be questions?
No, Sarah, you didn't do your job. You didn't warn me. No, no, just kidding. But I mean, this doesn't feel
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right. Like I'm seeing this code and I'm seeing all these
Okay,
things that are unrelated, and to me that doesn't feel right.
okay,
If that makes sense.
okay. So when you say it doesn't feel right, I mean, I'm not really interested in um, abstract concerns about correctness. Like, if it doesn't feel right, then I don't understand why the urgency level is so low for changing it. So, like, there's, it, this will be much more effective if I understand more about what really is the motivation behind doing this work. Because otherwise, it's just, it could just be an interesting intellectual challenge. It could be, please don't call me an agile coach unless you mean that in the best possible way. Only because in some circles that phrase has a derogatory meaning. I'm I am if you set the clock back 25 years. Um, so uh,
Y-
when people try to make these kinds of changes for purely abstract, you know, I want to do the right thing reasons, then we have a tendency to kind of go in circles. Um, that's why I really kind of want to understand a little bit more about what it is that you're really trying to achieve here. Is there so you've talked about the unrelated stuff. Is it possible that the unrelated stuff isn't bothering you just because you've been working with this code for so long that you're just familiar with it? So like,
No,
yeah, it's unrelated and it bothers me, but somebody else looking at this is going to be lost. Is
yeah,
it like that for you?
I mean, it doesn't bother me a lot. Like honestly, this thing we are doing today, we could just have not done it, and it would have worked just as well. I think, yeah. From one part is this could be confusing to some people, and the other part is really just the learning opportunity, probably.
So I'm just now realizing that it's Mark Levison who called me an agile coach. So now I understand the context a lot better. Sorry, Mark, my chat window is closed, so I don't necessarily see who everyone is. Yes, now I take agile coach as much less of an insult. Um, I'm sorry, Florian, I was distracted for a moment. Say that again.
So yeah, I was saying, I guess as you said, like some people could be confused by having to provide so many
Okay.
stuff to this function, and otherwise this work doesn't have to be done now. It would have worked otherwise, but I think really the
Mm-hmm.
why I did want to have a call about this is more as a learning opportunity.
Okay. So you've said a couple of times that this feels wrong. Um, are you unsure about what feels wrong about it?
I have a clue, at least,
Okay. Okay.
and that's
All right.
something. Yeah, okay, yeah,
Okay. So you have a clue at least, and I'm going to infer. I shall infer that it's related to. There's all this unrelated stuff in here. It seems like a distraction. It shouldn't be necessary. Is it like that?
yeah, somewhat.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I get that's
Is there a very obvious? Is there a very obvious thing that you can say that's more? Like I
uh,
have a clear picture in my mind of what else is bothering me, or
yeah,
more like I say this and you have a vague feeling like it doesn't explain everything.
Um, I don't know. Yeah, pretty vague, I guess. But
Okay.
something I don't
Okay.
like about this function is we have to provide all these implementations, but for the most part, they are just forwarded to other things. Like it's not used per se
Okay.
in this function.
Okay. So that on its own isn't necessarily a problem, I
Yeah,
don't think. So, but it does often happen that when we have one of these things, I mean, you're using the term orchestrate. Um, if orchestrating is literally all this does, and this becomes the place where all that complication accumulates, and that's fine. What to go wrong is that this then also becomes a little bit of a junk drawer. This becomes a place where, well, I don't know where else this code goes. Orchestrate seems like the safest place. I'll put it there. And then gradually, what comes into this function is some behavior that really needs to go somewhere else, but it's not clear where else it should go. So it ends up here.
Okay.
And then you end up worrying that you need to test it. Because if orchestrating really does, if it really only takes and you have all these pieces lying on the floor, and orchestrate's job is to assemble all those pieces into little groups. If that's the only thing which orchestrate does, then that's great, and you might not even need to test it because there's only one way to put all the pieces together. But other behavior has a tendency to accumulate in places like this, and that can be a problem. Or this becomes the place where you start to notice that there are dependency problems, because here is where you're assembling a bunch of little groups of dependencies. And if there's code in here that feels wrong, that's code that points to maybe a structural problem in how the dependencies relate to each other.
Okay.
And so that's sort of what I would expect. If I just judge by the names that you've chosen, that's kind of what I'm expecting to happen. So if this code is long isn't necessarily a problem. My concern is if there's things in here which are not clear, which don't obviously work, and I'm curious what they're doing here.
Okay. So I guess at the beginning, this thing orchestrate was really only orchestrating, but as time uh, went, like some logic just found its way in this function.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. So maybe that's what we can look for. At least that's probably what I will be looking for.
Okay.
And the good news is that we can probably try to shove some behavior down into individual modules,
Mm-hmm.
and we can look at how does the code resist that attempt, and then that gives us some information that we can use to figure out what to do.
Okay.
Okay.
And also a last thing
Um,
I want to mention is this whole thing is really based on an underlying library which is called Unifont. And so I
okay.
intentionally at the start said, okay, this thing is not going to be a dependency implementation because we rely so much on it. But now I think that's a
Mhm.
mistake and I should have abstracted it to some extent. Just
Right.
a thought.
So that totally makes sense to me. That's a pretty common pattern. So Unifont is someone else's library that you're using, and now you're realizing that some insulation between us and Unifont would be helpful.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's usually where the testing problems come from. The testing problems usually come when technology integrating with third-party technology is interfering with pretty simple behavior that you know we want to test because there are 12 cases, but now I have to talk to the universe in order to make any of those tests run, and that seems silly.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty normal thing. All right. So we can look for also how to hide Unifont behind something. Okay. I also presume that Unifont is the source of a lot of your testing problems.
Not so much actually. Like I think it's
Oh,
pretty fine.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
the
Okay.
API surface is pretty low, pretty small, so it's fine. Let's say.
Okay. So is this more than an opportunity to address a problem before it becomes serious?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because like I know
Okay.
some changes will come later, and that's going to be maybe a bit
Okay.
annoying. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Then I'll leave that as sort of a lower
Yeah,
priority
sure.
issue. Okay. All right. So in that case, how would you like to start? Where would you like to look?
Maybe something we could do is like look through the function to see how it works. Not maybe not in depth, but like how things are called, and then yeah, maybe start with that and see what can be done to split things up or something like that.
Okay. So do you have, so I see there you have a nice comment which describes an overview of the workflow.
Yeah,
Um, so uh,
I don't know if this thing
if
is
the function,
completely up to date.
if the function looked like that, would you be happy?
Um, I think that
How
could,
happy would you be if the function
yeah,
looked like that?
I think it would be fine. The only thing
Okay.
is like this still looks like this to some extent, but we just pass all of this stuff. I guess maybe ideally like orchestrate would accept a function, a callback that does this, and a callback that does this, and a callback that does this.
Right. Right.
Something like this.
So that's one of the ways that we can proceed is by doing something simple, where we just try to, let's say, reverse engineer the overall workflow into a bunch of functions which we extract, and then we figure out later if there is a better place for those functions to be.
Okay,
And as you say, I mean, I don't know whether they become their own little modules, if they go into existing modules. I have no idea.
okay.
But we could, one thing we could do is just start from the top, extract functions with the focus on what do we name those functions, and then look at what we have from there.
Okay.
So don't worry about that comment.
Yeah.
You'll probably have that in the back of your head because I'm assuming you wrote that comment, so that's already some part of the back of your mind has decided it should work like that. So you'll have a little bit of bias in that direction. That's no problem.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to the top of the body and let's just look from top to bottom and see what we have.
Okay. So this starts there.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically we receive some families, which is an array of objects and some things in there.
Don't worry about narrating the code to me yet. Let's just look at so for example, uh, where is the last place that resolved families is used?
The last, okay, all
Yeah.
right. So the last place is, no, not this one. I think this
There's
is,
these nice arrow buttons that might help you.
yeah. Yeah, sure. But yeah, this on this line.
Okay. So that is ultimately where resolve families wants to be. Okay. And we're using it for some other things as well. So that seems like a long distance. Interesting. Okay. I don't know if that means anything yet, but
Okay.
and then we have resolved families map, which is very interesting. Okay. What is resolved families map? Map of what to what? What are the keys? What are the values?
So did I document this?
The key is a string, and the value is this complicated thing.
Yeah. So the
Okay.
key is also a complicated thing. Um, Like
Yep.
one goal of this is to be able to deduplicate families based on some criteria, which is the key essentially.
Okay.
And yeah, that's mainly the reason why this is a map. It's just for deduplicating this stuff.
Deduplicating as in grouping by, or um, what does it mean for those things to be duplicated?
Um, I'm just reading through the thing to see if I remember exactly what's going on. To be
Okay.
fair,
All right. So then maybe that's an interesting possibility. Can we then take a look at just that loop then?
yeah.
So what's happening in this loop?
So the first thing is like we say, okay, this is what makes a family unique, essentially. Like it has to have this
Okay.
name, this CSS variable, this name, whatever.
Okay.
And then,
Okay,
yeah,
so I see that it says there we try to merge families. So um, maybe this is something that it would be interesting to see what happens if we try to make this separate.
okay. Like the
So
when
I
you mean,
presume that the map is the result of this loop.
yeah, yeah, basically.
Okay. So what happens if we try to extract the map and the loop to a function?
Okay. So I guess for now we can just keep it in line just for the sake of the testing this stuff.
Yes. So I guess we don't know what's going on here. Um, Go ahead, name what you like, and then we'll add it. Yeah. For now, I think we're just trying to put functions in here, and we'll figure out what, if anything, happens to them afterwards. So don't try to take too big a step. Just start by naming the function. Don't worry about what the arguments are, and we'll start figuring all that stuff out bit by bit.
Okay. So yeah, it
One
just
of
needs it.
the most common things that, so I'll let you type. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, no, it's fine.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. And then just let me know when you are happy with what you've typed.
yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, yeah, because one of the really common things here is you're going to try to take too many steps at once. So part of my job is to help you not do that.
Okay.
Um, and or then,
Um,
does the sequence matter, or there's just two things that have to happen?
huh. I'm looking at it. So I'm not
Okay,
sure. I'm not sure how to answer, to be fair. So maybe I
okay,
can explain just because this is really because of this
yeah,
part. Like we
yeah.
say,
So don't worry about that yet.
okay,
Um, So if we're not sure, my goal is to make dependencies between parts clearer
okay,
so that eventually we can't ignore them. It's like a red flashing light that says break things apart here, dummy. And so any chance that I have, if you said to me, "Oh, it really is then," but that doesn't make a lot of sense, that would give me a clue.
okay,
Like anytime that we have a sequential relationship that doesn't need to be sequential, that's an interesting clue. That's why I asked the question.
okay, okay,
So when in doubt, we stay with and maybe later we'll discover that it should be then.
okay.
And then we'll discover, hey, wait, then doesn't make sense. These really should be two independent things.
Hmm.
And then we'll try to make them that way. So okay. Um what so now copy and paste the code that you think should be in that function, and then we will figure out what the arguments are.
Okay. Then I'm just going to grab the whole loop and
Okay.
the map as well because that's what we want
Yeah, the
in the
declaration.
end.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pause. Undo.
What?
All right. Never cut. Never ever cut.
Why?
Because that's dangerous.
Why?
You don't know why cutting code is dangerous? I want to double check that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I have Control Z
Okay.
and I have
So
Git.
you so we don't have the tests that we want right now to help us maximize safety, correct?
Uh, I mean, can you be like, can you explain that
So
further?
when you cut, you're changing code that runs in production right now.
Yeah.
Is that really what you want to do? Because what happens if you get something wrong, the only way to really undo is to just put it back the way it was before, correct?
I guess. But I mean, I like
So do you have an alternative?
the function. Ah, okay, I see. Like, okay, okay, I see where it's going. Okay, like as long as this
Okay,
thing
tell me where you think I'm going.
like as long as this thing doesn't do what this stuff is doing on the left, then we can't just
Uh-huh.
remove the part on the left because we don't have an equivalent kind of.
Well, so that's one. So I would say it the other way, that my goal right now is to figure out what would happen if that were its own little function. I don't think it's worth making the code stop working for
Okay.
that purpose.
Okay.
So let's copy first, paste after. And there are a whole bunch of people who are saying that I'm being overly dramatic, and that's fine. You're welcome to think that. I guess 20 to 25 years of being stabbed in the eye will make you a little dramatic. I just lost something here that I was playing around with. Not a big deal. I can grab another one. All right. So now that we have all that in there, the next step is to figure out what, I guess, let's double check what we're actually returning. So my understanding was that the primary output of this function is that map.
Yeah, and currently we are not returning it because I just pasted it, but yeah.
Okay.
So
Right. So let's return the map.
yeah.
And then we look for any other, is there anything that's not in the map that we are writing to? And maybe just for the sake of it for now, could you please on the left-hand side put just put a begin and end comment for the code that you put, just so that we can mark where we started and where we finished.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make it a little bit easier to find.
Okay, and then I
Perfect.
just add this so we have a little
Yeah,
color thing.
do what you need. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, and then if you don't mind, let's get rid of that left-hand screen so that we can really see what we're looking at.
Yeah,
So just
sure.
use the right-hand tab. Oh, perfect. Okay. So yes, is there anything else that we're writing to that's not in that map?
Um, so
And I understand if that's not easy to find.
yes, there is another map.
Okay.
So yeah, that means we should move this map into this function probably and return it as well.
Okay, so are we creating that map or are we merely writing to it?
In this function currently we are just writing to it, but I think it could be
Okay.
created by the function. That wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, so if we go back then to is there any chance that we create that map right before begin? Pretty close.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like
Because it's up there 3-1 before. Okay.
yeah,
So I presume then it would be pretty safe to copy that in as well. Okay.
yeah. I'm just going to cut it. I know. Just to move it
I know.
below the begin, so we
That was
know.
yes, that was going to be my suggestion.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
that move that we just made, I would just want to double check that before you run away from it.
Yeah, sorry.
That's just because you're more familiar with the code than I am, so you're quicker than I am right now. Yeah. If that move wasn't safe, I'd be shocked. Okay, perfect.
Okay, yeah. It's perfectly safe.
If we just created, and what are the chances that we're going to end up moving those other two maps inside as well? Let's find out.
I think not inside this function we just extract.
Oh, perfect. All right, great. Then we actually are separating things from each other. Perfect. Okay, yeah, exactly. Love it.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm going through this to see if there are
okay.
other things. No, I don't think we are mutating anything.
Okay, so then now we want to return an object that has both of those maps.
Yep.
Okay, let's do that. I have no idea what you want to call it, so
I just return them as is. I keep the name.
perfect. Yeah, nice mechanical step. I like it. At this stage, the more mechanical the steps are, the better.
Okay.
People have a tendency to try to get a little too creative and optimize too much here, and that's when they get into trouble.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm curious if now that you look at an object that has those two things in it, and you think of a good name for that?
So the object that would contain these things, right? That's what you said?
Yeah. Does that have some obvious? Does that have some obviously good name? And if not, that's fine.
I don't think so because these things are like the maps are used for very different things, in my opinion. So that's why I don't
Okay, so
think.
we don't know yet why they are near each other, and maybe what we will discover here is that we want to split this into two parts, and each of those will be separated from each other. Okay, so maybe maybe the fact that those two things are both here, and that this function creates both of them is a coincidence. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. That's part of what we're trying to discover now. All right, are we writing to anything else?
No, we are not. I believe we are not.
Okay, how confident are you in that belief? Scale of 1 to 5.
Honestly, pretty close to 5.
Okay, I'll take it. All right, so now let's try to add some input. Let's try to identify the inputs.
All right. So when you say inputs, do you mean like really some data, or do you mean
What are we
also
reading from?
dependencies?
What are we reading from?
What are we reading
Because
from?
all of those need
Okay.
to be either reference. We either need to make them references to a module, or I think the best thing is to pass them in as explicit arguments to this function, even if that feels wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. So like just to make
Perfect.
sure I understand. So that's basically all the
Yep.
red squiggles we have over there are things that this function needs, and then we need to
That
make them
I mean,
arguments.
that's probably how I would do it. Yes, that's
Okay.
how I would do it.
All right. Then yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Um,
And again, I would say start with try to make these steps as mechanical as possible. So
so you mean is that enough, mechanical enough? Like just putting some types and stuff?
that seems pretty good. Yeah, if you know exactly what the type should be, great.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure about what these things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that's the logger. Okay, so this one, I don't have a type annotation for it.
Okay.
So
So then do whatever you normally do.
I guess for now I'll just copy paste it, but maybe we'll extract it.
Okay. Right. So don't know what bold is. All right.
It literally takes a message and makes it bold.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, some stuff I don't know exactly what the types are, but we're going to figure out.
Yep.
So the defaults, um, defaults, that's great. Then we have this thing, which has the same problem as bold. We don't have a type definition
Okay.
for
So
it.
this is a collaborator. All right. Yep. I'm going to use the term collaborator to refer to, you know, essentially a function as an argument instead of data. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
because
just
I
my
guess
habit from,
like what I was thinking is
yeah.
in the end, orchestrate like we'll have a bunch of collaborators. That's what I was thinking initially.
Right. And you know, when I think about orchestrate, what I generally think of is like a custom dependency injection container. Its job is essentially to wire up all the collaborators that are needed for each thing, and then, you know, either orchestrate then deploys that and makes it available to a runtime container which accepts requests and forwards to the object graph. There's a big go button. There's some, you know,
Mm,
starting function that orchestrate would
yeah,
call.
yeah.
And it depends on whether you're deploying all this stuff in some big framework or if you are the framework.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
And I did just spot an issue actually.
Perfect.
Great. So
Okay.
we have
What's the
this
issue?
resolve font and list fonts thing,
Yeah.
and these things actually belong to Uniform that we instantiate before. And this thing is actually only used inside this function. So this we could move it.
Okay. So once again, same thing as we did before. So is there any reason? Oh, I'm looking and So create unifont, is that essentially like initialize module?
Yeah, I guess. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I got to imagine that moving those two new maps up before that will be perfectly safe. So yeah,
Yes.
same move.
So I'm going to put it
So
there.
I'm gonna sound like, and so then I guess, do you want to make those inputs or do you want to call that inside this function?
Um, I think ideally they'd be input like uh, like if we were to make this uniform thing like pack it into an implementation of a definition,
Mm-hmm.
then I would pass this implementation instead of doing this inside the function.
Okay. So if that's the case, then this code stays here. Move it just above begin because it's not going to be part of this function.
Okay, then I can maybe just let it where it was then.
Or put it back where it was. That's certainly safer. So let me make a note here. Um, so resolve font and list fonts, is nobody else using these? Only
As
if you
far
happen to know.
as, far as I know, no, it's the only place where it's yeah, it's the only place.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to contradict myself. I propose that we move them inside our function. So cut it, move it down before begin, and then copy it in.
Okay.
Do you happen to know if, yeah, copy it into the beginning of the function? And so I know that maybe looks a little bit strange, but one of the last moves that we can make is to extract, to essentially turn this function into uh, initialize unifont, do the thing, and it would pass the unifont functions into the thing. And then we can decide if we need this function anymore or we just line it and put things back the way they were. So this is sort of our way of saying, I think this is the only place we need this, but this also helps us discover the additional inputs we need, unifont providers and storage.
Sorry, I think you lost me. Can you repeat or re-explain?
So I want to do this for now because I want the last move that we make could end up being like at the beginning of this function, there will be some initializations. Then the rest of the function will be do the actual work.
Okay.
And at the end, we might just end up inlining merge families and resolve fonts because the thing inside here will actually be merge families and resolve fonts. Sorry about that. I'm just sort of musing out loud. What interests me for now is where do unifont providers and storage come from?
Okay. And so, like, I mean, now there are arguments of this, of merge.
Yes, I
Okay.
guess they would have to be. Yeah.
Okay. So
So it's
just,
possible that what we are calling merge families and resolve fonts could become a little module eventually.
yeah, okay. Makes sense. Yeah, and
Yeah.
something I don't
Okay.
like about this thing, but yeah, that's related to the fact of abstracting Unifont away, is that storage is a
Yeah.
detail of Unifont. We should, like, this function shouldn't know about it, but that's another thing to do.
Okay. So then what I would recommend is let's add that information to the name. So this is initialize unifont then.
Ah, okay, yeah. Mm, okay,
Right. And so at least now the that when I see then in the name of a function, I will always look at that and say, then why is this function doing anything more than composing A then B?
yeah, okay,
So that's the signal that works well for me.
okay,
Okay. So then we need unifont providers and storage, I guess.
yeah. So I don't know exactly.
And as you say, we already know that those are things that we only need for unifont. Um,
And
does it make sense to finish the move? Go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to have the types.
the type. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
Does it make sense to put Unifont somewhere in the name of storage?
Um, no, because like this storage is used for other things. It's not only for Unifont.
Okay, so it's a generic thing that you happen to need for Unifont.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay. All right. Um, Unifont is the only reason we're going to use storage right here.
Yeah, yes, I think.
Okay. All right. If you're happy, I'm happy. I would have it. I would tend to. Well, I think putting them right beside each other is probably going to be good enough. This will be okay. Never mind. I was just talking through that out loud. Okay. All right. So keep going. Let's hunt down some more red lines.
So I guess now, are we going to like replace the begin end part with this function call?
Not necessarily now.
Okay.
I'm curious to see what happens in here. So first, is everything inside this function okay now? Did you get
Yes.
rid of all the red lines?
Yes.
Okay,
The only
and you're
thing is
sure?
it's unused. Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, that's what the error is about. Interesting. Okay. Um, okay. Is that error going to create a problem, or is that just an annoying thing that we have to ignore?
Yeah. It's going to prevent the build. I think. But I mean, for now, we could just do this, and yeah, this would be fine for now.
Okay, so that's a signal to the build process. Don't worry about this. We're not using this in the outside world. Or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have to
Essentially.
worry about this being unused.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we know that that's one of our last steps will be to sort of promote this function to ready to use. And of course, do that at the moment when we want to call it from begin end. Okay, perfect. So all we've done so far is restrict our view to a smaller part of the code, which will make it easier to focus and notice things. And we've made some of the dependencies a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
So those are usually helpful things. Part of what I'm typically looking for is some combination of a name that suggests where to break things apart, and the existence of the word then and the existence of the word and give some clues, especially if the remaining words seem kind of unrelated to each other.
Okay.
Also, I'm looking for little packages of arguments to the function, which make suggestions about how to break things apart. And now that we have fewer lines of code to look at, it will be easier to notice things inside the body of the function.
Okay.
So that's the reason for that's sort of the, if you want to talk about the technique, that's usually the reason that we do this and why it's so important for me to do this step. Even if it takes half an hour, doesn't matter. The important, like the benefits that we're gaining from this is the ability to ignore the rest of the code for now.
Okay.
That's really the most powerful part of this. So let's please commit.
Um. So I know you wanted a specific
So,
branch name. Do you want specific commit name?
well, so for me, um, the big thing that I think we did is we isolated some code so we can focus on splitting it apart.
Okay.
So, however you write that for your project conventions, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really mind about commit messages because we squash PRs. But
Okay.
yeah. Um.
Okay. All right. So this is really for us in case we need to undo for here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mismatch. Something like that, I guess.
To me, it's more important to say why than to say what. So if you want, add
Okay.
in order to break it apart further. To
Like
me, the so yeah, finish that.
like literally, you would put this in a commit message.
Yeah, absolutely. And I might even say that identifying the behavior that we isolated is less important because the diff can do that, and
Okay.
the name of the function can do that. So I don't know
Interesting.
how you feel about that. Do you prefer to see this here in the commit message because it's easier to see at a glance, or
I don't know. I mean, I'm not used to work with commits like in PRs.
okay?
I don't review commit per commit, so that's why it doesn't
Well,
matter for
so
me. But
for us right now, since you said that we're going to squash anyway, this is more. This is a message that could be helpful to us while we're doing this work.
okay.
So in
Yeah. I
that
mean,
case, adding more detail. If we're going to throw away that information later anyway, I suppose it doesn't matter if we put a little bit extra now.
okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. No problem. Just
Yeah,
like I'm just curious about the process. But yeah. Yeah. Sure.
yeah. Well, that's so one of my basic principles is that it's easier to throw away information later than it is to reverse engineer it, rediscover it.
Okay.
So I prefer to put more detail now when I don't know which parts will be important or relevant. And then as I get to know the code a little bit more, it will be easier to be more concise because I will have a clearer picture in my mind of which things are relevant and which things are not. In the beginning, when I don't know, it's easier to say more, add a little bit of clutter, knowing that I'm going to throw it away later anyway.
Okay.
So then it doesn't hurt to add a little bit of extra detail now.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so now we get to focus on what's inside here and ignore the rest of the world. Um, okay, so now structurally, what do we have here? We initialize a module, we create our return values, then we have a big loop.
Yep.
What happens after the big loop? Is the big loop literally the entire function, or
Yeah.
is there more?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Then we just return the data.
Okay, so the big loop only adds data to both, populates those two maps, and then we return them. Okay.
Yep.
Now, you said earlier that those two maps are not strongly related to each other. You still believe that's true?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, just
Okay.
checking. Yeah. Yeah. I would say so.
Okay. So would it make sense then to try to separate those two maps from each other? Like inside this big loop, we are doing two big unrelated tasks together, and it might make sense to try to separate them. How does that feel?
I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay, interesting. Why not?
So
As in, sorry, do you mean you think it might be a bad idea, or do you mean you genuinely don't know how good an idea it is?
no, I mean the former. It may not be an idea to keep them separated.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking right
So
now.
why would you keep them together?
Um, so I'm just looking at it just to be sure what it's doing.
Hmm.
But um, like in the process of creating one map or populating one map,
Hmm.
like we iterate over some data, and
Hmm.
by iterating over this data, we have to mutate some data inside, and from this mutation, we mutate a second map. Like the way they're used and populated are linked, but the like in the end, the data are not related in both maps. If that makes sense, probably it
Yeah,
will
I,
make
I was
sense.
going to say that then I'm not sure how those. I'm not sure in what way you mean that. So when you
Mm,
say that those two maps are not related, do you only mean that? I mean, it's clear clear that they be stored as separate pieces of data because they are. But do you mean that they are not strongly logically related to each other?
I'm not sure what to answer to
Like,
be.
is this a case where is this a case where by coincidence I need to create two unrelated things from the same source of data?
I wouldn't say by coincidence.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to answer, to be fair.
Okay. All right. Maybe that's something that we'll discover as we go.
Okay.
It could be that the idea is not clear, which would explain why the code is not clear. That's okay. That seems perfectly normal to me. Right? If the idea were clear, then the code would be clear. If the code were clear, then the idea would be clear. Makes sense.
Because
So maybe that's part of what
the
we will
idea is pretty
discover is
clear
what
in
really
my.
is the relationship between these two things.
Okay. Because the idea is pretty clear in
Okay,
my
again.
mind, but that's because I know how some stuff works elsewhere. Like there are assumptions elsewhere that forces this code to be done in this way, essentially.
Okay. So uh, is it the case that creating the second map is convenient because we are already touching the source data, the same source data, or is it that creating the first map is part of the input that goes into creating the second map?
I would say maybe it's more a convenience thing. Like we have to do in one loop,
Okay.
we can do these things instead of doing two loops potentially.
Okay. So it's possible then that what we will end up doing is separating it into two loops for the purpose of being able to better summarize what each of the loops are doing. And then when we combine those loops back, uh, it will be safer. That could happen. That's a pretty common pattern.
Okay.
Because I often see code like this where really it's two, let's say, parallelizable tasks, but because they happen to be operating on the same source data, we do them in the same place.
Yeah, I think this
Normally
is
that's
exactly what
okay.
happens.
Right. If that's the case, then it should be possible to extract the body of this loop into two functions which are almost completely isolated from each other, and each one creates an entry.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
And
that
then
that
putting
seems
them in the
doable.
same loop is just fine, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe that's where we'll end up. Interesting. Okay. If we do that, by the way, then it will make the make this function a hell of a lot easier to follow. Okay.
But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not.
Perfect. I was hoping so. I was hoping so. So probably it's the case. So you said something about mutating data that made me nervous because mutating data always makes me nervous.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
exactly what I
don't
was
try to
thinking.
explain it. Don't try to explain it to me again. But I'm curious now. Um, so, for example, what would happen if we tried to isolate? Let's imagine that in here there are two functions which could be isolated from each other. I think what's interesting is what would happen when we tried. What dependencies between them will we discover?
Okay.
And then maybe we can make that dependency more explicit. Then at least it will be obvious why these two things should happen in the same place. You know,
Okay.
if we're calling two functions and part of the input of one of them or part of the output of one of them becomes part of the input to the other, then at least the composition is obvious, the relationship is clear. We might not like it, we might decide to try to break it later, but at least like part of our job now is to make it very obvious which parts can be separated from each other and which parts cannot. Then it will be easier to decide if we want to break those dependencies or not.
Okay.
But as long as we see all the details in one place, it'll just be too hard to make that decision.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Uh, do you have an intuition which tells you between these two maps which one is the primary one and which one is the secondary one?
Yes, the primary one is this result families map. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, then let's try to isolate the secondary one.
Okay. So by
And let's see what
isolating, you
happens when
mean
we try to
like
do that.
creating another function and moving in there and see what happens?
I think so. So I presume that inside this loop, we have at the end something like add this thing to resolve families, add this thing to font file data,
Yeah.
or create resolve families entry, create font file data entry. That
Mm.
would be maybe the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what the relationships are between those two. And one way to discover that is to pretend that we can just create a font file data entry and do it in isolation and see what kind of pain we discover.
Okay.
So where is the, let's start by working backwards.
Yeah.
Let's go to the place where we do font file data map dot add or put, whatever it's called in TypeScript.
So
So go to the place where we actually write to it.
yeah, there.
Okay. All right.
So basically, we create a dependency essentially from this map that uses this map internally.
Oh, so we don't actually write to it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, yeah. We don't directly write to it. We use an abstraction for in between.
Oh, perfect. Oh, so then this doesn't have to be a return value
It has because it's not
because we are
only.
just mutating it.
Yes, I mean this map is part of this abstraction to do some stuff, but then we still need this map
Yes.
out at the end of orchestrate. We need it somewhere else.
Yeah, but you don't need to return it. You can, because you're this our initialize blah 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 function isn't returning it, isn't creating it. Oh, I guess it is. I see. Because we have created it from the inside. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Let me think for a moment.
Yeah.
So then we are returning font file data map, and by accident we are also, not by accident, but at the same time we are creating a thing which can write to it.
Yes. This is the reason why this is in there
So
actually.
that's okay.
I guess.
Is URL proxy some? Should we be returning URL proxy to the rest of the world?
No, URL proxy is only used within this function.
I see. So we are writing. So we are writing to font file data map. We're just doing it a little bit indirectly.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So so we are creating this URL proxy thing, and we're going to use it in the middle of this function.
Yes, we are passing it to another function.
Sorry. Uh, are we going to invoke URL proxy inside this function eventually?
Inside this function, no, we are just passing it down.
But are we passing it down to a thing that we are eventually going to call?
Yes, 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 definitely.
Okay, then we are going to. So that's, again, I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to challenge a little bit some of the structural choices.
Okay. And just to
Okay,
be
I'm
for
not
the
sure where
record,
that audio is coming from.
yeah, I muted it, no problem. And just for the record, like I
Thank you.
coded this whole feature once, and then I removed everything and I did it another time because I had a better idea of how to architect things. So maybe it's a bit
Okay.
convoluted, but like there was a reason in my mind for making it this way, essentially.
Yeah, that no, I'm not judging anything. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
trying. When I
not at
say
all.
challenge, my goal is just to one thing that can help is if I can make you say something that sounds like a contradiction, then maybe you'll realize, oh, something was true in the past, it's not true anymore. The design has not been
Okay,
simplified. Let's do it now.
okay,
So that it would be helpful if at some point you said something and then you stopped yourself and said, no, that's wrong,
okay, okay,
or that sounds stupid, because then that would be an obvious place to simplify things. Okay,
okay.
so um, I'm not sure what to make. I'm not sure what sense to make of this relationship, but it's time to grab my index cards. So we have this thing called the URL proxy, and the URL proxy is what actually has the responsibility to um, let's call it add font file data is strange to me. So um,
You mean
I guess it
in
would
terms
be
of
add
naming?
the name. Yeah,
Okay.
there's just the word data because everything is data.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
before.
this is where I need to understand how to parse things. So I would say that what URL proxy is doing is adding a font file data entry.
Okay.
When I say add a font file data entry, does it come to your mind a name which is better than that, or is that the best? Is that the best way to describe what's happening?
Probably not the best way. Try to think of a
Okay.
better name. I mean, it's
Well,
really,
if it's sorry, the when I say the best, I mean the best you have so far.
yeah, I guess maybe the best so far. Just for the record,
Okay.
it's really related to URLs. So maybe that can be used in the name.
Okay. So what? So um, is font file data? Did you choose the name font file data because you inherited that name from somewhere else, or just you didn't have a clear picture of what this really is now?
Um, hmm.
Like,
Oh,
are other people going to refer to this as font file data, or
no, it's quite an internal type. Like nobody's going to refer to it.
okay,
And I guess it was just
okay,
like a bit random. Didn't know what to put data it in.
perfect,
I think something like that.
okay. So then, when you look at that line of code on line 126, um, what is that really trying to do? What is the intention of that line?
So it's to associate essentially a hash to a URL.
Mhm.
That's basically it.
Okay. And a hash of what?
Huh. A hash of what? And this it's I mean I need to think about it. I think it's a hash of the font family. Like we
Okay.
hash the object essentially.
Okay. So that's just a, is that just a convenient way to create a unique identifier for a font family? Or
It's
is it
not.
more than that?
I think it's more than that because this hash in the end will be used in a URL. So it's not just a convenience.
Okay. So this is an intended info for thing,
Sorry, yeah, there is a little lag.
or at
Can
least
you
some
repeat?
part of the URL for a thing. All right. I was asking you, so this hash is uh, it's part of a URL to identify a thing.
Yes.
Okay. It's part of a URL so that you can have a unique identifier, or it's part of a URL because somebody else is expecting you to use the hash.
Can you repeat the last question?
Sure. All right. So we might have the answer in chat. Is this a way? Is this your choice for how to create a unique identifier,
Yes. Yes.
or
I guess
is
that's it.
this something that another system needs you to identify?
No, no. Yeah, it's really just a unique ID for us to be able to do things based on this ID. It's really for us, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
So the fact that it's a hash here is not important. What matters is that it is a unique identifier.
Yes.
Right. Because this is a thing that happens quite frequently is that in another context, it's important that it be a hash, but from the producer's point of view, my goal is to fulfill the contract by producing a hash. From the user's point of view, I mean the client, not end user. From the client's point of view, all that matters is that it's a unique identifier.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it's just because I use a hasher that I call it hash, but yeah, really it's an ID.
It makes sense. This is so. What's happening right now is we're identifying a case where an implementation detail is leaking out into
Yeah,
places where that extra detail is not helpful, which is normal. Like there's a point at which all the clients, there's a point at which on this side of the line, we call it a hash because we know that our job is to use a hash for this purpose. And on the other side of the line, they don't care.
yeah. Makes sense.
So, okay. Now it looks like hash is an arbitrary name for us right now. So we have the freedom to change it
Yep.
because you declare it right above. So, okay. From the point of view of this code, that hash is really just a unique ID, correct?
Yes.
And let's rename it.
Oh, all right. Then question.
Before we rename it,
Uh, in this case,
go ahead.
like the hash is defined as part of a contract, like the definition of the URL proxy. So should I just rename it inline there, or should I update the definition of the URL proxy, like the type?
Well, so I guess that's going to be the next thing. So even before we go there, hold that question. Are we clean right now? I don't remember. Do we have uncommitted changes?
No, not yet.
Okay. So my thought is let's try to work from the inside out and go as small as possible. So on line 126, this is where we're going to test my knowledge. On line 125, are those function arguments or are you extracting data from an object?
Yeah, it's destructuring something from one object.
Okay, so the
So,
object is the argument, not those names. Got
yes,
it. So we can't change those names
we can if we want. Like we
really.
could say,
Okay.
okay, this is name ID now. This works if you want.
Interesting. So do you think that's helpful?
I don't think it's super helpful, but it's possible.
Right. So now we have kind of a common problem, which is since you are familiar with this code, you are going to have a bias towards keeping the names the way they are because you already understand them.
Okay.
And so that's a struggle for us because I think these names probably need to change, but I am not sure where we have the freedom to change them. And I will have a bias towards overestimating how important that is, and you will have a bias towards underestimating
Yeah.
how important that is. So, what that tells, so the part of the problem we have is that because we are now in the middle of the code working our way out, it'll be hard for us to have good judgment.
Okay.
Um, it's more like I have an arbitrary opinion and you have an arbitrary opinion, and there's no way to know whose opinion is better.
Yeah. I mean, my
So
intuition would
maybe
have,
maybe
yeah,
go ahead.
I would say like what I would do is just update the definition directly instead of renaming it inline there.
Right. So that's I could only rely on you to say, yeah, that makes sense. So if we renamed here and then pushed that naming up to that place, would that like would you really like that? Would you like it? Would you not like it? Or sorry,
Yeah,
would you like it? Would you be neutral toward it or you hate it?
neutral. Really, it doesn't matter to me.
Neutral.
Yeah.
In that case, let's not do it yet and let's wait for the pressure to build.
Okay.
At some point, one of us will go, really, we need to do it now. So it's just now it's just an option I've seen, and I've part of this is also that I'm becoming more comfortable with TypeScript or with JavaScript syntax as we go.
Okay.
For me, I think the really big thing is um, font file data map is not a very helpful name.
Yeah, I agree.
So my preference for naming a lookup table is values by key.
Okay. So something like
So I'm
URL
curious what would
by
happen if we
ID.
did that.
like URL by ID map or something.
Right. And what kind of ID? Font family ID?
Um, I would need to check exactly what the
I
hash.
think I want the word font in there somewhere.
Okay, because I'm not like
Right.
now that I think about it, I'm
Right.
not
I
sure
don't
if
know
it's
what that
about
hash
the
is.
font family exactly. Might not be. I think it's more precise than this, but I would need to look at the implementation.
Okay. Okay. Um, so okay, let's try this. Rename that map.
Hmm.
I'm going to propose a name that will not last very long. So you said URL, correct? So URL by,
Yeah.
URL by some kind of font ID.
Okay.
And the whole point is it true that this is a one-to-one relationship?
Yes.
Each font blah 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 ID has one URL?
Yes.
Okay. So some kind of is just a way for me to say I'm not happy with this name.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need
Gotcha.
more details here. Okay. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't violate any project standards. No one's going to yell at you.
I mean, maybe. I'm not sure this would. This would. I mean, I'm not sure this
We
would
don't
pass.
think this is going to survive very long, but I also don't know how quickly we're going to resolve this question.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure this would pass a review potentially. I don't know. To be fair.
Right. Right. And somebody might say, I can't let this go until we resolve the question of what kind of font ID is this,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I think
Potentially.
is a fair criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to resolve that before we're done, but I have no idea if we're going to get there.
Okay. Because I'm like, okay. Question: why couldn't we just resolve it now? We like it takes a few
Oh,
seconds.
maybe we can.
Okay.
Maybe we can. That's I don't know. I'm more don't forget that part of what I'm doing is also narrating what we're doing. So,
Yeah. 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 Definitely. But I
okay.
wasn't sure if it was part of the process to just do it later.
Oh, not necessarily. I literally don't know whether we can do it now.
We can.
You might say, "Oh, I'm pretty sure we can do it now," in which case that's great. So, let's commit.
Oh, you would commit like okay. Another question. Then
Yes.
if we have the opportunity to know now what the proper name is, would you commit before or after having the proper variable name?
So specifically in the context where we don't have safety from tests, I commit ridiculously frequently because it gives us the maximum number of undo points in case we discover a problem later.
And other question, you say we
So
don't have a lot of.
specifically in the context of not having tests. Say again?
You say like we don't have tests or safety tests. What do you mean? We have a bunch of tests that can tell us if that works or not.
Oh,
Like we don't
oh,
have
I did not
zero
know that.
tests. I mean,
Okay.
like we are
If
testing
you
this
run those tests,
orchestrate.
you'll be happy?
Yeah, if these tests
Okay.
run, I'm
And how
pretty
long does it take
confident.
to run those tests?
It's instant.
Perfect. Okay. Well, that's why I make these sentences, I make these statements, and then you say no. And I say, oh, good, I learned something.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Like this kind
Cool.
of thing, I
All right.
don't know if you know about it or not. So yeah, yeah. Sorry.
I don't. Exactly. Right. That's part of the point. All right. So let's run the test, see what happens.
So I just need to run this first to compile.
This is where I discover how quick the feedback loop is.
So it's really we run this thing. This works. We can just rerun it as much as we want.
Okay. Perfect. Great.
So this
So in
passes
that case,
because
yes. If we
the
if we
thing
have
is
that
not used.
level of safety, then I don't need to commit. I don't need to commit now, but I would commit now.
Okay. So do we? Yes.
My instinct is to commit more frequently because again, it's easier to squash than to split.
Okay.
So literally, all we did was um, Improve a name by revealing its intent, or at least some of its intent.
Um, some, something like that.
So not by, but in order to.
Okay. But the English,
Paragraph.
yeah. Yeah, okay. Like this.
In order to reveal.
Oh, yeah, sorry, of course.
No, c'est pas grave. Just oops.
Just oops.
I'm the Canadian. I'll do the apologizing here.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. To me, revealing intent is always a good reason to refactor, so that will always pass a review.
Okay.
That's just my opinion, man. All right, so we're one tiny step closer to understanding what this is all about. Okay. So the purpose of that step was to discover where we are actually writing to. So that is where we actually do it. And so I guess I hope somewhere in that loop, we actually, is the URL proxy unique to something? Because it's got to be inside this loop somewhere. So
Um,
I guess we're
yes.
creating a URL proxy for something, right?
Yes.
Okay. What are we creating the URL proxy for?
So we are creating it for resolve local font and normalize remount font faces, which are basically the equivalents. I mean, I don't know if that's very clear, but yeah,
Okay,
these are the two
so
things
yeah, I
that
guess
consume it.
that's the places where the URL proxy are being used.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So one of the overall strategies can be um, to like move things closer to where they're being used, if that's safe, or to just to try to figure out sort of where the boundaries of the URL proxy are. So I guess we create a URL proxy so that we can, as you said, we use it to normalize remote font faces. Sorry, what was the second thing?
And then
What was the
uh,
second use of it?
resolve local font.
Okay. Are those usages strongly related to each other? It looks like if they're in separate parts of an if branch, maybe the answer is no. Oh, I see. It's just there's a local implementation and a remote implementation.
Yeah, exactly. So like now that we are talking about it, I'm seeing this and I don't like this, to be fair.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm thinking like this could be just be done in each branch without needing some kind of flag or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, so um, is that a is that something that you notice which is potentially unrelated, or something which you notice which is potentially related to what we're trying to do?
I would say potentially unrelated.
Okay, then let me make a note here. This is push local down into if statement from, I guess, from the URL proxy. Okay, so that's a thing that we might do. Okay, I have a refactoring inbox. Now you can safely forget about that. Okay. All right. So again, our what we're trying to do right now is to isolate adding entries to, or adding URLs, collecting URLs by some kind of font ID. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
Yeah.
So create URL proxy is obviously involved in this. Is the URL proxy also involved in in writing to the other map?
Uh, you mean directly? like directly
Well,
within this
I
thing?
would say in any way.
No, I would say
As far as you know, if as far as you know, if we isolated creating a URL for a some kind of font ID, then it could own the URL proxy.
yeah, I guess this could be split into another step if that's what you mean.
Well, so that's what I'm trying to do is to see what would happen if we isolated. So I just wanted to test if this was, if you knew that obviously that was a bad idea, then we didn't need to move the code to see that it's a bad idea.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I
Okay,
think that
well then
could
let's
work.
try it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's now try. Let's imagine that there's a function whose job is to take some of that input and add one entry to URL by some kind of font ID. And let's just see what happens when we try to do that.
Uh, where? I don't understand where.
We'll extract another function. So
But extract
what I
what?
if
That's what I didn't
exactly
understand.
that's what
Sorry.
we need to figure out. That's what
Okay.
we need to figure out. So I'm curious to see how close we can get to replacing this entire loop body with two functions.
Okay.
One that adds an entry to one map and one that adds an entry to the other map. I just want to see what happens if we try to do that.
Okay.
Because that will give me some clear picture about how these two bits of code are related to each other.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to start with what is now line 126, but in fact, we don't want line 126. We want the line of code that calls URL proxy save URL,
Okay.
right? Because that will call line 126.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out where the boundary is. So who uses the URL proxy?
Uh,
We're also going to find out something about this relationship that we don't like, but go ahead.
okay. So who uses the URL proxy? That's what you asked, right?
Yeah.
So it's resolve local
So
font
both sides of
and
the if statement, right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So by chance, does that if statement only write to URL by some kind of font ID?
No,
Or does it also
each
write to the
statement,
map?
each statement writes to the primary map.
Say that again.
Sorry, each statement of this if thing, like each branch, writes to the primary map. If we say this one is the secondary one,
Okay. Okay. All
and
right. So that's interesting. So this if statement writes to both.
yeah, and the other one as well. I mean, yeah,
So it writes to both of those two maps. Okay.
yes.
That's interesting. So again, does your intuition already know this? Is it writing to both maps by coincidence? Or is there a relationship between what it's writing to each of those maps?
Uh, yeah, I guess I'm not answering directly to the question, but these things could happen in two distinct steps. That's what I would say.
Okay. Say more about that.
Like, yeah, like as I said, it was more convenient to have all these things happen in one loop, but that could happen in two loops, for example.
So when you say distinct steps, could they literally be parallelized from each other? They can happen completely independently from each other. For
Um,
example, it doesn't matter which one happens first.
I, no, I think the URL proxy would need to happen last.
Interesting, because it seems so. Resolve local font. Do you happen to know whether that saves a URL or not?
Yeah, yeah. It does call the URL proxy save URL and stuff like that.
Okay. appears to me that that means that we're writing to the secondary map first, not second.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I guess like currently
Uh-huh.
we write to it first because then the result of this is the what is inserted in the primary map. But technically, it could happen last. It could if we wanted.
Okay. So
Yeah, I know.
this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm trying to figure out, right? Because usually when there's code that's difficult to test or when the tests don't fill us with confidence, it almost always means that there is some unspoken or unclear or undocumented relationship between two parts of the system.
Okay.
And part of our goal can be to make that relationship, that dependency explicit and clear and obvious. It might still be annoying, but like I don't know how you feel, but I know that code which is very uh, I have very low confidence in changing code when I don't know what impact that will have on the rest of the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those kinds of implicit dependencies are the reason that I don't know. If all those dependencies were in the open and clear and obvious and explicit, I might have them, but at least I would know they are there. And then I would have much more confidence. I would know that if I change this, I have to also change that. Or if I change this, I have to think about that.
Okay.
Uh, it be, it the work then becomes tedious instead of scary.
Got
When
you.
those dependencies are implicit, the work is scary. But when those dependencies are explicit, the work merely becomes tedious. And then maybe I can figure out how to isolate them better so that the problem goes away.
Okay.
And I think we might have found one of those.
And I mean, I think what I'm saying is true. Uh, I just
Okay.
want to be sure.
Well, I like your uncertainty because the uncertainty is a clue.
Yeah, yeah. I think that could happen in the second step.
Okay.
And I'm also going to check this
So,
one, which is exactly the
yeah.
same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That could happen in another step.
Okay. So now I'm going to propose something radical, and I'm curious how you feel about it.
Okay.
Are maybe these two maps are really one map?
No.
Okay, why not?
Like for real, I think they are not. Like in the end,
Okay.
these things are used by the Vite plugin. I mean a bundler plugin essentially, and they don't do the
Mhm.
same thing at all. Like they are really not related.
Okay. Okay. So what's interesting is
I mean,
that the results are not related, even though
eh,
the computing those results are somehow related.
no. Okay, then I lied. Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
they are somewhat related.
Okay.
Like so, I don't know what helps. Like if I maybe I can explain it from like the how like from how a user uses it and how these things are involved. I don't know if that can help.
Let me ask one question
Yep.
first. Is it possible that these are two views on the same data, like two summaries of the same underlying data?
I wouldn't
For
say
different
so.
purposes, used by different people in different situations,
Hmm,
but ultimately, like they are two partial snapshots of
maybe.
information.
Honestly,
Okay,
yeah, maybe.
right. So that, if that's the case, then that would be obvious. That would then provide an obvious, would make the relationship in or the purpose of this code much clearer.
Hmm,
That the purpose of this code, so maybe what we do is, you know, the input is one thing that represents the source data, and two things which the outputs are two things which represent two different helpful views on the same data.
Gotcha.
And the only reason to compute both of them at the same time is convenience.
Yeah.
That actually, from a logical point of view, I want those two summaries to happen independently.
Yeah.
But
Makes
for
sense.
performance reasons, for example, we compute them together. Okay.
And I will
And
note
then maybe
in
if
this
we say
case,
what those things are, yeah,
like in this specific case, performance is
say
not
again.
really relevant because we are not doing a lot of iterations on the loop.
Okay. Or maybe the loop isn't very big. So I guess that's what you mean. If
Yeah,
there
yeah,
aren't that many, then perhaps for the purposes of understanding the code, it might be worth having two loops.
yeah.
They're they right because I what I want to understand is um, are these two slightly different ways of seeing the same data, or are they two completely different ways of seeing the same data? If they're two completely different ways of seeing the same data, then it makes sense to compute them separately from each other.
That's what I would say. Like they are really not seeing the same thing.
Okay. So then it sounds like it would be at least worth the attempt.
Yeah.
Really strongly separate these things, even if that results in a little bit of duplicate work.
Okay.
Okay. Does that sound reasonable to you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Then I like where we're going. So then I propose we continue with this idea of let's try to isolate um, computing URL by some kind of font ID. Let's try to extract that and then see how, if there are then some unhealthy dependencies, we can decide how to break them. And then maybe when we look at just that one summary on its own, it might become clear that, well, we used to break things apart, but the boundaries are not really helpful anymore. Let's put it all in one place and break it up differently, or maybe
Okay.
it's perfectly fine. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm curious to see, like, your uncertainty regarding the how easily we can tear these things apart and the dependencies between them. That uncertainty is already a clue. Either there's a bad dependency under there and we're going to discover it, or there isn't one, and the only reason why you're uncertain is because unrelated code is tangled together, and when unrelated code is tangled together, we get nervous.
Okay.
Perfect reaction, normal. So let's see what happens. Um, okay. One stupid way to do this would be to copy the entire function into a new function and then delete the statements that you think are not related.
Okay.
That's one strategy.
Hmm.
Another strategy is to try to do the surgery, like try to pull out one little piece and another little piece, then another little piece. Do you have any intuition about which one you would prefer?
Given how things are like mix and stuff, maybe copying everything and removing stuff may be easier. But I mean, I don't mind either way.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is literally about your preference. What's going to make you feel more comfortable? So yeah, let's create. So start by creating a new function. And I think this is, well, I'm curious to see what you name it. Go ahead.
So just to be clear, the thing we are trying to do is just the
Mm-hmm.
the like taking care of this map, the secondary one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I would call this proxy URLs or something like that.
All right. There's no verb there.
Isn't okay. I would consider I mean, yeah, I would say proxy.
Ah, or so, okay.
This would be the
So
verb.
when you say proxy URLs, I think there's some extra context in your head. Try to explain it to me.
All right. So we get some fun data from, let's say, Google, which has its own
Mm-hmm.
URLs, and we want to
Mm-hmm.
take control back and own these URLs essentially. So that's why that's what I'm
Okay.
calling proxying, but maybe the thing is not the name is not right.
So you are computing a URL which is an independent address for the same resource, but it's an address that you control instead of an address that Google might change on you.
Um,
How well did I understand you?
Maybe not exactly.
Okay. Then what does it mean to you to proxy to proxy these URLs?
I mean, no, I think maybe you said it right. It's really like when we generate some CSS or something, we want to use our URLs and not Google's URLs. But under the hood, we may use Google URLs essentially. So yeah, I think that's what you said
Okay.
better.
Okay. So, all right. So you're not proxying, you are computing the proxies,
Oh, okay,
right?
gotcha.
Because
Yeah,
proxying, to me, proxying means that you are literally running the server.
yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, the server part is somewhere else.
Right. So, right. And this is actually one of those things this is one of those naming things which is an ongoing problem because I shouldn't say problem, an ongoing source of debate because in general, I mean, the way you're going to use this is you're going to proxy URLs. You are interested in the purpose, in the reason that you want to do this and how you intend to use it.
Yep.
But right now, especially right now, it helps us to be more precise about what the structural role is as well. We are moving structural boundaries around.
Okay.
So that's why in this situation, I tend to be more precise about what we're doing. Um, and then at some point, extra precision will feel unnecessary, and then it will be easier to shorten the names.
Okay.
Not compute. Well, compute. I guess we could. So, um, yeah. I mean, everything is compute. We'll probably replace that with a better word later.
Yeah, yeah.
So, proxy URLs. Let's say some more words there. So, proxy is a substitute for something else. So, why are we proxying, and what are we proxying for? Right. As Sarah says, compute data. Everything is compute data. Um,
Yeah, okay. So
so
we are proxying.
why a proxy?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you said why a proxy?
Right, I'm going to shut up and listen to you. You tell me both answers. What are we proxying and why are we proxying?
We are proxying uh, fund provider's URL, so we
Okay.
can control, uh, so we can have control over it, or so we can self-host,
Okay.
or I don't know how precise we want it to be.
Interesting. Well, at the very least, instead of URL, can we say the words that you used there? Was it font provider URLs?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. And I propose compute proxy URLs for font provider URLs.
Uh, so okay. Come on. This.
uh, can we say proxy URLs? Is that okay for you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry, missed that. Proxy.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, something like that.
So font providers URLs, is that a apostrophe S or plural? Providers.
I would say plural.
Okay. So this is for multiple font providers?
Yes. But I mean, it depends. We
We
could have one function that does for one provider. It depends what we want.
exactly what I was going to ask? Are we aggregating or are we iterating?
I guess. I mean, in the end, we'll probably have two functions for this potentially.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
But
know
are
if
we
that.
aggregating or are we iterating?
Okay. Then for this one, we'll be iterating for this one.
Okay, so is it possible that this function will end up being for each font provider do blah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. So maybe what happens is we start to realize that what's in here is its own little loop and we extract the body into its own function.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or
That's what
maybe
I
we
had in mind.
realize that what we are doing here is actually the body and then we replace plural with singular. No
Okay.
problem. Perfect. Okay. So in that case, now we sign up. Now we have a clue what the input arguments should be and what the return value should be.
Okay.
And inside here, I don't know which. My guess is that what will happen will go like this. We copy the code in, we remove the code we don't want, we find out that this function is actually uh, computing the proxy URLs and then adding them to a map. And then maybe we want to separate computing the proxy URLs from adding them to the map.
Okay.
That's my guess about what's going to happen.
Okay. So then I guess I'm supposed to
So
copy all this stuff then.
copy paste. Yep. Copy the entire body and we'll remove the parts we don't need.
Interesting. Okay.
Pause. If you just did that, commit that.
Dang it. Okay, then I'm not doing this. Okay, we'll do it.
Okay. We'll do
Uh,
it later.
yeah, I was sure you would say
Okay.
something, but I tried it. I tried it. All right, so I'm
I'm
putting it.
developing a reputation. Perfect. No, it's one of those things that, again, it's one of those things that seriously you then like, oh man, it's going to take me like 4 minutes to split this commit. And it would have taken 8 seconds to commit.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So that's just something you get used to over time. Okay. Before you start wiring all the arguments up and all that crap, just try the stuff that you know you don't need. And in fact, you fail to copy and paste. That might be okay.
Sorry, I didn't understand. What did you say?
You dropped the first line. You failed to copy and paste. You dropped the first line.
Uh, no.
You must have.
Why?
Oh,
It's just because. Yeah, it's just because of async, I
Oh,
guess.
I didn't. It's stupid. No, it's tab. Because the tab was wrong, and I misread it.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
As soon as I accuse, you should slap me back. No problem. So instead of adding all the arguments, I would just delete the lines that you know for sure you don't need.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, you're challenging your intuition about how this works. So certainly we shouldn't need the other map.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to remove this.
Yeah. So remove anything that you believe you should be able to remove, and when you feel a little bit of doubt, that's the place to slow down.
Okay. First thing, these result families, we are not going to do stuff on this thing. We are going to do things on the result families map that we get from the other function. That would be what I think.
Okay. So one step will be to replace resolve families with resolve families map as the iterating thing. Okay. Perfect. All right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just
Keep
checking
going.
somewhere how I do this, just to be sure. Of values. Okay, perfect. So there
Okay.
dot values, because that's a map, and then
Pause.
all.
Don't change stuff. No, 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 no. Hold
Why?
on. You're getting too aggressive.
Why?
So, well, okay. If you want to do that, that's fine. But you didn't finish the previous move. So is this going to make the next move easier?
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, no, because we don't have types yet, so that doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay. So don't just do it because you're thinking of it. Do it that if it's going to make the next step easier. Okay.
Okay.
So you don't need any of that.
Yeah, this can go.
Okay.
This will stay. We need this.
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see later for some stuff. And then, okay, so this has to go. This has to
Okay.
go.
Okay. That's interesting.
This will be done earlier. Yeah, and that's why it's tricky. Like this thing is not needed at all. Actually, we just need to like how to say it. Like we do some things in there, but what we are going to do here is iterate over family dot thing and call the
Okay.
URL proxy directly instead of delegating it to to this function.
Okay. If you might forget that, then make a quick note. Otherwise,
Uh,
move on.
uh, and I'm also going to add another comment. Do we need
Mhm.
two branches? Maybe we'll be able to
Right.
do one thing.
Perfect. Okay. Beautiful.
And then this is exactly the same there. Just what I'm suspecting is we need a different implementation for each. I'm not sure exactly. So this can
Okay.
go, and this can go as well. And so we don't need to return this anymore, and we can do this.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I removed all the things I think are not necessary in this function.
Okay. But if we never actually use the URL proxy, then nothing will happen. So is that what those comments are for below?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So this is now the new way that we are using URL proxy.
Yeah.
So we're not going to refactor. We're going to re-implement this.
I mean, I would say for now, just re-implement and then look into refactoring later, potentially.
Well, I mean, if we re-implement, then we just replace the old implementation with a new one. If it passes the same tests, then who cares?
Uh, okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding. When you say the implementation, like getting rid of the URL proxy in this function, for example?
Well, I mean, eventually the purpose of what we just did was to try to isolate the code from initialize unifont, then blah blah blah. Um, so there's two ways we can do that, right? You can you can create a new implementation and then flip the switch to call the new one instead of the old one, or we can start with the old implementation and gradually transform it into the new one.
Okay.
Because the purpose here was to remove the parts which are not needed, but you
Yeah.
did more than that. And I guess you did more than that because you have a better way of putting back what was there, plus the part that's needed.
You mean these two to-dos?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I know what's going on in the other functions that were called in here, and they are not for the same. I mean, the functions that we call there, which are like resolve local font, are doing
Yeah.
two things. So we are going to need to update this function anyways to make it work in this context.
Okay. Right. So do you prefer to rewrite that or to also inline resolve local and remove the parts that you don't? And then if that's calling something else, inline that and remove the parts you don't need.
Okay, I think yeah, maybe for now I would say maybe inline for the sake of just to get things moving.
Okay, then undo all the deleting that you just did so
Uh,
that we can do that we can do those steps safely.
okay, no, I'm not sure I'm following there then because I know
Maybe I
for
misunderstood you.
sure, like I know for sure that this
Okay.
stuff that wasn't there is not useful, like at all. I mean,
Okay.
I mean,
But then if that's so if that's true, then that function which you have extracted does nothing.
okay, no, maybe let's refer.
It creates an object and then never uses it.
Okay, maybe let's rephrase this. Like, let's say we take the example of this one and we were calling this thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I know most of this stuff is not needed in this new function, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I'm
why,
not saying that what you're doing is wrong. I'm just saying that you might be picking a relatively unsafe way to do it.
okay, then I'll
Maybe it's
just,
okay because you are familiar with the code, but
okay,
it seems
then
riskier.
I just follow what you say and we'll see.
Okay.
Because, yeah, but I'm going to lose my to-dos.
So the comment is some guess about what will happen, right? You think that
Yes,
what's left behind will only be that code which is in the comments,
yes,
and maybe we don't even need two branches. Okay.
yeah. So I'm just going to,
So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with what you did. It's just riskier.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I just restored this stuff and put these to-dos there so we have them.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, put them there so that you yeah. At some point, we hope that what will happen is that those comments will become obviously unnecessary now.
yeah.
Like we
Okay.
want those comments to match reality. Okay.
All right. All right.
So
Then,
now let
yeah,
me see if I understood correctly. So because there's a red line on line 90, resolved family. So uh, is that because we need some? Oh, we're still removing code anyway.
yeah, exactly.
Now it's a question of which kind of safety do you want? Shall we add the arguments to make this function um, as type checking and then remove things as we don't need them, or do you feel confident enough that we don't need to go through that extra step?
No, I would think adding the
Like we
argument
can.
types and stuff now would be useful.
Okay, let's add them. So if you want, you can just copy and paste them and remove the ones you don't need,
Mm,
or go step by step. Your choice.
okay. So yeah, I think I will copy. Yeah, I think I will copy all of them and then remove. I think this will be easier.
Okay. As long as you can do that safely, I'm happy.
So we can already remove some stuff from there, like these things and the result
Mm-hmm.
families. Okay, and then yeah, we need this result families map that is defined in this function. So I need this
Are we creating it or taking it as an argument?
as an argument.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and then this will be family.values.
Right. That was the step that you were going to do before. Okay.
Okay. And I'm starting to notice, let's say, some things that are going to be annoying, but we'll see about that. So like right now, I'm just renaming stuff, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a slightly unsafe step, but I think I understand you.
And same thing. Oh, yeah, this is not going to work. Okay, I'm leaving it because I think it makes sense for now. I'm just
Okay.
renaming family to what it's now, but it's not going to work.
Okay.
No.
And
Okay,
for sure,
no.
after this step,
Yeah, no. I'm reverting because
no.
I'm seeing this is not safe.
And this is exactly why I commit. And this is exactly why I commit more frequently.
Okay.
Keep going. Undo until you're happy.
Yeah. So I undid until this point.
Okay.
So I
All
added
right.
as
Then
much.
let's fix.
Yes, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I mean I added as much type safety as I wanted so far. So now we can move with more
Okay.
things.
Right. So now we remove the red lines,
Yeah. So
either by removing the code or by fixing them. Okay.
yeah. So
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm going to result family. I'm just going to rename them with family, which is the name of this variable.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a first
But then what
problem.
was the?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead first.
I was going to say. So what? So undo briefly what you just did.
Yep.
Okay. Before. So if you have, I recommend changing the things which are called family first. Make them called something else. That way you can avoid collisions. So local family dot provider What is that family now? What will that be?
And that's the point. We don't have the info inside here.
Okay,
Um,
what do we need? Do we need another argument?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about what's the best way. Because just for
So,
the record of why I'm hesitating right now, this
yeah,
resolved families map.
yeah.
No, actually, I'm not going to say anything before checking what it's actually doing because I don't remember exactly. Okay. No, no. Okay. So basically, I compute this map to have useful data for a later step, and it just turns out that the
Mhm,
way we are now splitting things up, this map is lacking
mhm.
some data, essentially.
So have we found a relationship between the two maps now?
Um, yes, I guess.
Okay, okay.
Um, so yeah,
I'm just
maybe.
trying to interpret what you're. I'm trying to interpret what you are. What's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's a simple question. Um, so this family dot provider is causing you a problem. So there's two options. One, to get rid of it because you're going to remove the code that uses it anyway. And the
Hmm.
second is to add into this function as input the information that we need.
Okay. And actually, it turns out
So
I think we have the
go ahead.
data. Actually,
It turns out,
I think we have it. I just
okay,
didn't know.
okay,
And
okay,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. And the name like this, I think there is a problem in terms of how this is structured.
Aha,
Yeah, this is weird. I agree.
lovely. Okay, good. So then make a comment about the weirdness, and
Okay,
we'll
I'm going
see
to
if we
put
get
it
there.
there. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right. So now, so these are resolve family dot family.
Yeah. Which I don't love, but I mean that
Perfect.
will do.
This is right, but this is actually a very common pattern when there are two similar things that want to be named the same thing. And you don't notice the problem until you are confronted with it exactly like that.
Hmm.
And then that tells me, oh, there's this weird relationship between these two things, which are kind of similar, but not really. And that's maybe the big thing that we need to resolve. That's why this code was tangled together before.
Okay.
So that's normal. Usually that's something like, I want the interface and the implementation to have the same name, or I want a container and the item to have the same name.
Okay. I think I think in this case it may be just poor naming, honestly.
Could be. Yeah. I've certainly seen a lot of that.
All right.
One of the difficult things to do in this situation is what you just did, which is to mechanically, you know, finish the refactoring step even though you think that something weird is happening and your brain wants to fix that problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Fix it later.
Okay.
Okay.
So now I fixed
Do we
everything I
still have
wanted to
any?
fix. I think
So no type errors left?
there are
Oh, we have
because
await
there are
resolve
some.
font.
Yeah, but I don't want to fix them because I don't want these things to be called here
Okay,
anymore.
so that's okay. So that's the stuff that you know you are going to remove very soon.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So in that case, um, I think we need to commit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well.
So commit, and I don't know how you do it, but put some marker in that commit that says broken,
Okay. Then let's
that
say.
emphasizes that this code is broken,
All right. So
so that it's not a. If by chance we go back there, we won't be surprised that it's broken.
okay. Proxy uh, creation. Proxy. So something like this.
Okay. Happy, I'm happy.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to remove some more code, and I hope you're going to remove all the red lines,
Yeah,
at
but
least.
okay. So
So go ahead.
question. Uh,
Yeah.
right now, I don't want to just remove. I want to remove and replace at the same time. Is that acceptable?
Okay. So when you say replace, are you inlining the resolve local font and then removing some of those, removing the unused parts?
Yes, that would be it.
Okay, then let's do that.
Okay, perfect.
So more urgent, pause, before we do that, more urgent is to get rid of the red lines. Can we get rid of the red lines sooner?
I don't know because for me this should be a red line there. Like this has nothing to do with this. This is the same level at
Oh,
this.
interesting. Okay. If in your mind this is a red line, then let's remove it now. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Basically,
All right.
just types work,
So
but it shouldn't be work there essentially.
right. Okay. I'm surprised that type checks. Great. Okay. Yep. All right. Then let's find the body of it and paste it here.
All right. Then, so what we want is to update the fonts of the result family fonts, and we want to say, okay, do something. Uh, and so yeah, this is going to change like dramatically. I can tell already.
Yep. Yep. There's a reason why that was in a function. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So,
It's not clear to me that that was the same thing.
and I'm going also to remove this
Um,
temporarily.
whoa, whoa,
Okay.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold
No,
on.
I mean, yeah. I know. I wanted like okay. I'm removing a weight on purpose there because I know I don't need it, and it's preventing code formatting. That's the only reason I'm removing this.
Okay. Can we then undo, remove a weight, commit that, and then try again?
Okay. Um.
So maybe even just get reset and then do it again.
Okay. So
That's probably the easiest thing.
just this.
Yeah. Well, I guess get reset hard.
Okay. So just okay. Just this.
Just throw away your changes. You
Okay.
noticed another smaller change that you want to do first. So get reset hard.
Okay.
Okay. Now get rid of a weight.
Okay. And format as well, which is done. I think. I'm going to check real quick. So if I do this and yeah, perfect. All right. And then I commit this.
Okay. Did you want to remove a weight only in one place? It looked like you were doing it in more than one.
I removed it in two places. Those two async
I
functions.
just didn't see. I didn't see it. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I double check, but yeah, it's only used there. Perfect. Okay,
Okay.
broken. Uh,
All right.
remove await to allow formatting. Does that work?
Allow formatting. That's weird. Just so, explain that to me.
Like literally, because
Is
we are.
removing a weight allow you to format?
If you're using await in a non-async function, then the prettier the formatter doesn't want to format.
Is that because it's a type check problem?
No, I
So
guess
the formatter won't format code if it knows that that wasn't type check, or there's
it,
just
I think
some
it's
weird thing about a weight.
I think it's unrelated to type checking. It's really just a formatter that like it doesn't understand a wait or something because it's in a non-async function, something like that. I
Weird,
don't know
which
the details.
is a type checking problem. But okay, yeah, all right, I understand better. All right, thank you. That was just for me to understand.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So we want this thing, and we said we want this.
So now let's try inlining that again.
So we want this stuff, and we want to say resolve family the fonts equal the result. All right. So
Okay, now I see what you did. All right.
so we want to map over fonts, and we don't want a lot of this stuff. Then
Okay, so pause, undo.
okay, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like we are not dealing with the same kind of data inside the resolve local font
Right.
with the thing we have there.
Yeah. So you inline so that you can start removing more code that you don't need.
Yes.
Commit.
What?
Please commit.
I'm supposed to commit.
Please commit.
Okay. Then why?
Yeah, that was a
Like,
pretty big. That was a pretty big move.
is it? I mean, I literally copy pasted some stuff, and it's some stuff that is not
Yeah.
valid.
You went from a tiny bit of code to a lot of code. That sounds like a big move to me.
Okay, interesting. I'm not sure I agree, or maybe I don't understand fully, but that sounds a bit
If you
wrong.
make a mistake right now, if you make a mistake right now, when you reset, you're gonna reset to, oh, now I have to copy and paste again. Is that what you want?
Ah, gotcha. Okay, I see what you mean. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't
There
mind,
you
but
go.
yeah, I get it. Okay.
The fact that
So,
you wouldn't mind surprises me, but you know, everyone has their own preferences.
so inline resolve local font, something like this.
In order to remove the parts we don't need.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So then I can
All
look
right.
at some
Yeah.
stuff.
So now,
Okay.
okay. So you want to rename? Is
Yeah.
that rename going to help you now?
Yeah. Because like we are really not dealing with the same data. In fact, I'm going basically to ignore some of this and just take one part of it, which is the one thing that is interesting to me.
Okay. So humor me. Undo what you just did. I want to try
Okay.
to. I want to do what you just did in a safer way.
Okay.
First, remove the parts you don't want. Right? Because it's always safer to remove the parts you don't want. You can't create a type problem by doing this unless you
Okay.
remove something that you're using.
Okay. So I'm checking what I need. Hmm. Okay. I'm checking.
So another option is if what you need is inside there, then take the parts that you need and paste them at the top.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think
But if you can safely delete that, that's fine. Okay,
yeah, I know
go
how
ahead.
I can get this data back, so it's fine.
Okay.
Tick, tick, tick.
The safer the moves are, the less you have to think when you make them.
Yeah. So yeah, I removed what I don't need, I think.
Okay. So does that mean that data now needs to be declared?
Yeah, essentially. Like this thing needs to be renamed to data, I think.
Okay. So first, so let's do it the safer way. So I guess data is now. So I guess data is just instead of data.source equals, how about replace data, get rid of the dot in data.source. And then down where it says return data, I guess that's now an object whose
And
source property is data.source.
I think no, I think it's going to take another shape. To be fair, like we are
Okay.
not. Yeah, I think it's going to take another shape, which is a bit similar but not quite. So that's why I don't want to do this.
Okay.
Um,
But the
yeah,
goal at this point is to get to the point where it compiles quickly and safely.
yeah,
Sorry, not I say compiles, but I mean type checks.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, and like this involves renaming this stuff.
But
Uh,
that's a bigger step.
I mean, it's literally just renaming something. It's I don't know. That
Well,
feels.
show me, because that show me. Okay, show me.
I mean, okay, you like you want me to show you like what I would do. I mean, show you what?
So do it your way.
Okay, okay, and then you tell me.
Mhm.
So it's really doing something, but just doing it in a slightly way in JavaScript, essentially. That's why I'm not too
Okay.
concerned about it.
Okay. I mean, moderately riskier, but okay.
Okay, so there we have also an interesting thing where the source can be either a local font source or a remote font source, but TypeScript doesn't know, in this case, it's only going to be a local one, but we know it, so we need to,
Okay. Okay. So where do you know it's going to be local? At what point do you know it's going to be local?
as soon as I am in this branch, I know it's going to be local.
Okay. So can you make that the first line then? Create a local source and
No, I
cast it?
think I think TypeScript is not going to like that. I mean, let's try to say, yeah, it's not going to like it.
It has to be the first. It has to be the first line of that anonymous function, I guess.
It's not even that. Like these fonts could be either remote or local, and we don't like doing this check is not going to narrow the type. I don't think there is a way for TypeScript to do this. So what I'm thinking is just add a
No, I know.
runtime.
In there,
I'm sorry.
I would just put a cast there. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So you wouldn't even put a runtime check just to be sure.
You are certainly welcome to.
Do you think there is one thing which is
I mean,
better than the other?
well, it depends. I guess it depends on how much safety you really care about. So I don't know how TypeScript works, but when you do a cast, I assume that when the cast fails, some runtime error will be thrown. Correct?
No, it's a build time thing. So like you could cast something that is completely wrong. That's the problem.
Right. But if I cast something in the casting fails, what happens?
Well, well, the thing is the cast. I don't know how the cast could fail. Essentially, like let's say
The
just
whole
for
point of a cast. The whole point of a cast is you're saying I declared this as a weaker type earlier. I'm saying it's a narrower type now.
yes,
Trust me, bro.
yeah,
Trust me, bro can fail.
yeah. Uh,
So what happens in that point? What happens? I'm trying to understand the difference between just doing the cast and doing what you say is a runtime check.
I mean, this is okay. Sorry, oh no, we are in local.
This is the local case. Yeah.
Okay, no,
Right.
no, actually, never mind. I just confused something. Okay, so yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I did confuse myself. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Never mind.
So then what happens to .url?
Yeah, so this doesn't work. Uh, where is this? Okay, I still need to have a look at this thing. Just, I
Okay.
need to see. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, okay. This is because we still don't have the same shapes exactly. Source. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't really know, but essentially, I think what we need to say is basically, uh, like, if this is some kind of source, we just don't care. Just do what you have to do. Yeah, and if it's not, then we take over. Like basically, these local font source don't have any URLs involved, so we can just ignore them.
Uh, so that seems like something that's going to fail. Are you absolutely sure that's correct?
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. That's because we rely on uniforms like data types as well. Like there are some kind of weird stuff.
Okay. What name in source? What does that really mean?
Yeah, that could be abstracted to a function, but this means this is a local font source from Unifont.
All right. So I wouldn't bother with a function. I mean, even either a comment or a variable name would be better.
Okay, uh, so I check if this is a local font, so local font source. Something like this. Would that be enough?
So, and then even though it's not strictly needed, add the else block.
Okay, I don't agree with that.
It's
I
clear that
prefer
this is a binary choice.
I prefer early returns to like this is more I guess a stylistic thing, but yeah, I use early returns rather than ads if possible.
In general, I understand that. In that case, how did we even get here?
Sorry, in this case, what?
So then, why? So why is it that we have to make this check here? Remind me.
That's because like the types. Oh, local. No. Okay, so yeah, no, never mind. I think I made a mistake there. Okay, good point.
Okay.
So I think this is so this is source as uniform remote font. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
we are in a local provider, but for
Mm-hmm.
unifonts, like the source can be a local or remote font source, and this has nothing to see with local or remote providers. And in this case, we are sure this is a remote font source, so we can just cast it. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So my hope is that at some point we're going to extract something that will make that cast look stupid,
Yeah.
but we're not there yet.
Uh, so okay, I'm just going to put this because I don't love this. So if you can find a way, maybe that's at least it's somewhere. Is
Okay.
that is that fine?
Yeah, I don't usually use to do comments. I have special labels, one called smell and one called refactor.
Okay.
And smell means I don't like this, but I don't know what to do about it, or I don't like this, but I can't fix it now.
Okay.
But that just makes it easier to search the code base. So I
Okay.
do the
Okay.
same thing.
All right.
Add a blank line after the cast, just to emphasize that that's its own thing.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. All right. So yes, we're still getting rid of red lines.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have this font format thing, which is a constant. So
Okay.
I don't think we should consider. I mean, like, I don't think it should be an argument. I think that can be hard coded. I don't know if that's fine or not.
Well, so why? I'm curious why you said that.
Like, I feel this thing, like, there's no way this is going to be configured or whatever. Like, this is like font formats are never going to change essentially.
But what does that have to do with whether it's an argument?
Oh, because like right now it's not imported. Like this could be. I mean, either we import it directly or either we pass it through the arguments of compute proxy or thing. That's what I mean.
Right. Yes, and I'm wondering why you immediately said I don't want this to be an argument.
Because I thought it could be an argument.
Yes, I'm asking you why you don't want it to be an argument. That is what I heard you say.
Okay, because I think it's a bit overkill there. Maybe that's the word.
Why? How
Because
do you mean overkill?
this thing, I mean, these font formats, we could we could say define them in line that wouldn't change anything. But I guess technically that could be considered a dependency.
Well, it is certainly a dependency, and now you have two declarations that in two different files that need to be the same.
Sorry, what? Sorry, can you repeat that?
You have two definitions of values in two different files that have to be synchronized.
No, no, because these things come from the same like constant. Like this is the same source of truth essentially.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
then
I
I'm
don't mind.
confused why it doesn't already work.
Oh, because it's not
Are
imported.
we not
Because
in the same file?
that's the only reason. It's not the same file. It wasn't imported in this
Oh, it's
file
not the same
before.
file.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So like yeah,
So do you you're so you would end up importing it anyway?
that's what I was considering doing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if yeah, I mean, if it's going to be imported anyway, then it doesn't matter. Yep, I agree.
Okay. Like this is the kind of stuff like I'm always a bit hesitant. Like should this be made an argument or is it fine to import directly since it's some kind of
Okay, so
known constant?
if you genuinely don't know, then it's always safer to make something the narrowest scope possible. And then to wait until there is evidence that you need to make it more visible.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
So it's always safest to start by making it a local variable. Then when you're forced to make it outside of the scope, then when you're forced to make it an argument, then when you're forced to make it an import.
Okay.
Like that's always safe. And part of the goal here, in fact, is for me. So there's two ways to think about it. There is I'm just going to do what is convenient for now because I think this code is going to disappear. Or on the other hand, there is, I'm going to do the strictest thing now, and I'm going to wait for some future step to force me to make this more visible.
Okay.
And if that step never happens, that's interesting information.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So I guess
So with that, we prefer to,
sorry, what did you say? You did cut.
based on that discussion, what would you prefer to do
I think I would leave it as is for now. Like there's no evidence that making it an argument
as
would
an
help.
import? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So now I just want to commit, I guess, since we inlined this whole part.
So again, are there more red lines? Or
Yeah,
you're
there,
happy?
yeah, there
Oh,
are,
because
but I'm happy.
we inlined in one branch. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Understood. Yep. Okay. Yep. Commit sounds good.
So broken.
You actually inlined this time. What you did before was pasted broken code. Now you've actually inlined.
Okay. But yeah, so that means the previous commit message wasn't maybe that good.
Right. So it's up to you. If you think you're okay, I would even just amend the previous commit because now that commit comment is correct. It's like you did it in two steps, but now you're happy with both steps, so you combine them into one step.
Okay, but I'm also fine with doing it in 2 steps.
Do you prefer to do it in two steps?
I mean, I don't mind. Like I don't have like
I understand. That's why I heard you the first time. Do you prefer it?
no, but I mean that's the thing. I'm neutral.
Okay, then amend.
So okay, so how do you even do this? I mean, I'm never amending.
Okay, that's easy. So you've already added. So now git commit. Yeah, git commit.
Yeah.
So now this next switch is dash dash amend.
Okay.
Yep.
And just this?
That if you say nothing else, it'll reuse the previous commit message.
Okay. All right, and then I can update this. And
If you
so
want to, sure. But I don't think I think the point is you did that previous step for real this time. Like you finished that step.
so you would just accept it
Right?
as is to merge the commits somehow? No, I'm not sure I
Well,
understand
yeah,
that.
because
Sorry.
that's what amend does. Amend is like commit and squash.
Okay, I mean I'm never using it, so I really don't know how it works. Okay.
Okay. So amend literally means add these changes to the most recent commit.
Okay. So like I can just exit and it will just merge with this comment. Okay.
Yeah, I think to be safe. Oh yeah, if you exit without saving, then for sure it won't. It will reuse the existing message as is.
Okay, perfect.
If you exit with saving, then it will change the message.
Okay. So yeah, just Control X. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, usually amend is for those situations where oh shit, I forgot this little thing, or oops, I forgot this little part, or you know what, I started it and now I finished it,
Okay.
which
Yeah,
is
this
what
is
we did here.
interesting. This is the kind of thing I really don't
Yeah.
work at the commit level because I would just commit a little fix or whatever. But yeah, gotcha.
So what we did was the short version of uh, commit, fix up, rebase, squash.
Yeah, okay. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so now we're going to take the same step here in the else block.
Yeah. Just
For
for
that,
the
we're going to
record,
remove the else block.
I think we'll stop at around like in 20 minutes or something. I think that would
Sure.
be good.
I'm okay with that.
Perfect. All right. So I just want to remove this whole block. Like this stuff is going to happen somewhere else. So it can just go.
All right, so that's the part that this function doesn't need to do.
Yeah. This
Okay,
can
so let's
go.
test that by getting rid of the else block. Oh, that's not the entire else block. Okay,
Yeah, it's
got it.
really the first part.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then so the dedup thing I think is going to happen also in the previous step. Like this is actually very important. I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah. This can go. Like I'm pretty sure this can
Okay.
go, and so we're all only going to keep this and
So
accept.
the only thing we need to do is normalize.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so yeah, I have a little. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then we need to inline this stuff. So
Okay, so commit
commit.
here
Yeah.
and then inline. Yep.
Okay, and so we want to inline this.
Well, I
Normalize.
guess no. What you did is you removed a bunch of. No,
Yeah.
you're not inline. You didn't
Yeah.
inline yet.
Sorry. Broken. Remove uh, useless steps.
Yep.
And just this, or you would add more thing.
If you want to say more, you can. But for me, all I did was remove the code that I just removed the. I removed this parts I didn't want to do.
Okay, then perfect. All right,
Okay.
and then we're going to take this.
So
Uh,
yep.
so for,
All right. So we're going to copy paste all this and then remove the parts we don't need.
yeah.
Okay.
So result family dot fonts and then paste this. All right. Um, so the filtering will be done. Will still belong to normalize font faces. So I'm going to remove it. I'm just going to keep the map.
I didn't understand that part.
Sorry,
Try again.
like
Undo.
the normalized font family thing. Where is
Mm-hmm.
it? Is filtering stuff and then
Mm-hmm.
mapping things. So really, it was already doing too much, but it was just for the sake of doing one loop. No. I mean,
So the filter. So is
no,
the filter happening somewhere else?
I mean, yeah. So okay, no. Let me rephrase this because I even confused myself. So this normalized
Perfect.
remote font faces did actually two things, which is filtering and then proxying URLs essentially. And now we are saying, okay, the
Oh,
proxying part is the part that is interesting for us, so we can remove the filter part, which will be the
okay.
responsibility of something
Pause.
else.
Right. So filter is not part of the inline step. It's the next step.
Okay,
It's some unnecessary code you can remove.
okay,
I
perfect.
understand correctly?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So first, let's make sure that the inlining actually worked. Are there red lines?
No, they are not. There are red lines at the
Perfect.
top because there is useless things, but then we can look at this later, I guess.
Yes.
That's
Unless you
probably
made more red things that were the result of that step.
yeah. I guess some things became red because they are not used anymore. But I would
Okay.
say
I
this
would
can go
remove
in the.
those.
Oh, okay,
Well, if there, no, I retract my statement. Commit first, and then we'll remove the unnecessary code.
okay.
This is
So
where maybe the sequence of steps is a little bit different in TypeScript, because I'm not used to that being a build failure. I'm used to that being a warning.
okay, yeah. Okay, so normalize remote uh, This is okay. Perfect. So that's
Right.
inlined.
Yeah. So maybe in TypeScript, because it's a little bit more strict in this regard, we can't really say that we inlined until we also remove the parts which then became the arguments which became unnecessary.
Ah, okay, I see.
Yeah. Okay. So now remove a step.
So I'm removing this, and I'm removing also the useless arguments, which are,
I would say remove the argument. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
I mean, we could do it in 2 steps, but I feel like that could also
Yeah.
work.
To me, it makes more sense that we should have removed those when we made them, the moment that we made them obsolete.
Okay.
That's me learning something about JavaScript or TypeScript.
And so yeah, that's much nicer. No red thing now.
Okay. All right. Commit.
So amend, I guess.
If you like, sure.
Yeah. Now that I know how it works, I have to use it. Okay.
It's weird
Perfect.
that. Hold on. Why do we have uncommitted changes? That's weird.
Oh,
Why do you
because
have an X?
I didn't git add all first. Okay.
Aha.
Okay. Now that's good.
There we go. Okay. All right. So, have we removed all the unnecessary code yet?
Um. So yeah, we don't have to. We have iterated. Yeah, I guess the only remaining question will be like, do we need 2 branches? But that come later. That can come
Okay.
later. And I think, hmm, yeah, I think the implementation is different enough in remote and local that we need 2 branches.
Okay. So, let's see if we're. Oh, actually, we that doesn't do anything. Never mind. Okay. Commit that you removed the obsolete comment.
Do I need to remove this one as well?
Oh, are you? Oh, you're going to remove the other one as well?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I
You
think
think
it,
you've resolved that?
yeah, I think looking at it now, something is similar, but there is enough uh, different stuff that I'm confident leaving 2 branches.
Right. We might be able to remove some duplication, but not all of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. So that could be an interesting choice to look at those things um, subsequently, not next, but subsequently. Okay.
okay,
All right. So commit that you resolved some questions in the comments.
okay,
Okay. All right. So now we have two choices. One of them is to look for other ways to simplify this code, and the other is to try using it and seeing what happens.
okay. Um,
So
when you say simplifying what exactly?
I don't know. That's why I said it very vaguely.
Because like my first thought,
Right. So for example, you said that both branches of the if statement had some things in common, but had enough differences that you need 2 branches. You could explore that and try to make them similar, see where the
okay,
limit is.
okay, but then okay, I have a
And
question.
really the goal there would be to draw out the differences so that we can make that more clear.
Okay, okay, just question.
That's one possibility.
Is that more important
Yeah.
to look at this now, or to try to hook these new functions to make them work currently?
Well, that's exactly where I was about to go. Exactly.
Okay,
So we're on the same page. One of the problems now is that we have a bunch of code that's not being run in any tests because we didn't even know what code there was going to be to run yet.
okay,
So the other option would be now let's try to run these codes in tests and see what happens.
okay,
So the best case scenario would be can we just call the new function from the existing code and get that passing tests?
okay. But I guess we have one step before that even. It's like to update this
Okay.
chain to not do the like the thing we just extracted.
Right, that's what I mean. So that would be, I guess that means we would have to do it in two steps. So we've extracted two functions, both of which are not being called by anything yet, correct?
Yes.
So now a smaller function, we could try to call that directly from the code that's running, or we could call that from here and then call this from that.
Okay, but I guess what I was seeing is not even this. Like at the step even before, like we need to get rid of this stuff first because this is now useless.
We're saying the same thing with different words.
Okay, okay. Then I guess I just didn't
Yeah.
understand.
No, I think we're saying the same things. So yeah. Um, so do you want to try to do that here, or do you want to try to do that directly in Orchestrate so that we can run the tests?
Okay. Yeah, I would prefer maybe to do this here first because I'm pretty confident in what we are doing, and then wire up things.
Okay. All right. So what I would then do, I suppose it doesn't actually matter because we're just going to flip the switch and hope it works.
Yeah.
So you decide the steps you want to take.
Okay. Yeah. Then I would prefer to clean things up first.
Okay. Exactly. I feel the same way.
All right. Um, then shall I remove stuff like just in the other function? Start removing the things we don't need.
I think whatever we do is going to be equally risky. So do what is going to be comfortable for you.
Okay. Then remove stuff. So
Principle, we're doing the same thing that we did before, just the other side of it.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Removing the parts that we're assuming we don't need.
Okay. So this is the same. This is not needed. And then the only thing that remains are the
Oh, pause. I misunderstood you.
okay.
So if you want to do the same thing again, then I would recommend going through the same. Oh, maybe not. I take it back.
Like I
Start
need.
by changing the name of the.
Ah,
Start by
yeah.
changing the name of the function here. Then.
Gotcha, gotcha. So yeah, so uniform, uh, and then I think the name didn't change actually because the fact that we proxied URLs was simply not reflected in the name.
Ah, okay. So we removed the proxy. We moved the compute proxy URLs part,
Yeah,
and what's left behind, by coincidence, is the same name as what we had before.
yeah, that's what I would say.
Perfect. Okay, I understand you. Go ahead.
So will you remove these arguments now because we know they're not used?
If it's safe to, yes.
Yeah, it's safe.
I guess that red line means that the code is not using it. Okay.
Yeah, and then we have one red line, which is the thing we are going to look at after to inline the resolve local
Okay.
fonts.
So we need to do the resolve a local font. We need to inline that. Okay. All right. So you removed all the stuff that you could remove before needing to inline.
Yeah.
Go ahead. All right.
So
I understood you.
remove
Yep.
unused
Remember,
steps.
all good. Yep. Okay.
And so yeah, then we are going to do exactly the same.
We'll do the same thing inside out. Yep.
So we want family.variance. Okay. So here we have we just need okay no so okay
With a
let's
name
just do
collision, I
this.
guess.
Yeah, exactly. So like I guess first we inline and then we can amend or we can do it in one go if we feel it's fine.
Yeah. If you want to create a checkpoint, if you want to create a commit checkpoint just in case, go ahead.
I mean I'm fine just doing it in one go to be fair.
Okay. Do what you need.
So I will just say this result.
Mm-hmm.
and then this URL proxy doesn't exist anymore. So I'm looking at it. I'm trying to see what thing is needed.
Mm-hmm. So either the URL isn't needed at all, or we found a problem.
Yeah, basically I'm trying to see if I should just return the source as is, or if I need to, like this format thing, now we are doing it.
Okay, try not to jump there.
Okay,
So
okay.
start by removing the parts. Yeah. So do you need to remove the URL property, or do you need to just give it an undefined value or something?
I think removing all this is safe actually. I could just do return source and that's it. It would just be used as a side effect essentially. Which
Uh,
means
okay.
yeah, but yeah, maybe that means that some stuff could be done differently. We don't need the map anymore. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm seeing some further refactor, let's say.
Okay.
So I don't know how safe all of this is, but I would say like just, I mean,
I would not do it now. I would make notes and then do it.
okay.
Finish this move first.
All right. Then I want to stop there essentially and come in
Okay.
there and
If URL proxy is broken,
yep.
does that mean that we replace the value with undefined, or we remove the entire URL uh, key?
Like, not sure I understand it. Like right now, this would just
Sorry.
fail.
Right. So does that mean that do we need the URL key for this object at all? Or like, do we just remove URL, or do we change URL proxy dot blah, blah, blah to undefined?
Like, I think the solution is to just not do this essentially. Like, not even at
I
all.
know you want to jump all the way there. We're trying to take a smaller step so that if you make if you're wrong, we limit the damage.
So you would say something like this, for
There.
example.
Perfect.
Just okay.
Yeah. That was another choice, was give it a default value. I just
And,
chose undefined because that's the easiest.
and there is another
Yeah.
problem, which is
Get rid of the
this.
red lines first and then collapse the parts that you don't need.
Okay, so I will just do this for now. That will do. Okay,
Okay.
so no red line. Um,
If you think that's correct, then we did the inline part.
I think it's partially correct.
Okay. What's missing?
What's missing is changing all of this to something else. Like
That seems like a big step.
I know.
So the inline part is done, but we haven't
Okay,
removed unnecessary parts. All right. Yeah.
okay, okay, gotcha. So yeah, broken um, inline. What is it? Yeah. So it's again the same thing, the same
Yeah.
message.
Agree.
Okay.
Now you want to remove the parts we don't need.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I can say this random source and then const. Okay.
So do you just not need to do the map part at all?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I would
Okay, then
say,
remove the map part.
yeah, I will, I will, I will. I'm just copying
Oh, sorry.
the stuff
Pause.
first. Why? Yes.
Okay. No, I got you now. All right.
Okay, okay, sorry, sorry. So yeah, I'm just saying this, like,
I also have to follow what's happening, otherwise I can't advise you.
yeah, 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 sorry, sorry. Yeah, something data source 0, and then why isn't it
Oy.
happy?
Well, this is exactly why I check these things.
Okay, I know why.
This is
Okay, no,
are you sure?
variant. Yeah, now I know. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
This
And
is why we do these in smaller steps, man.
right, I can try to. I start to see a pattern.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect. That's all we're hoping for. All right. So is that all the unnecessary parts gone?
Yeah, and almost. Then we can remove this unnecessary
Perfect.
dependency.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah.
What was that? It was the type extractor. Okay.
Vector.
Okay, and then
Okay,
we're good.
nice.
So I can
All right.
amend this.
Commit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dash amend. And now we are going to be able to compose this stuff.
Okay.
I mean,
So
yeah.
now you believe that the old. Now, is this correct that the old orchestrate code is now some combination of those two functions?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see how bad it is. This will be a good place to stop.
Yeah. So shall I uh, like put the new code and then remove the old one, or start by removing the to begin end thing?
Well, so I mean, let's start with this question: how safe is it to call this code twice?
It's not.
Okay, so then it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Then let's.
Everything we do is going to be unsafe, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And since we
So
have tests, at least
yeah.
I would have left begin end, but that's okay.
All right. So I'm
Yep.
going to pass the argument just after that, and just uh, yeah, it's async. Okay. So we have this map back, which is nice.
Now when you pass the arguments in, yeah, if you get a surprise here, that's interesting.
It should be fine. Let's hope. Okay, this works.
Okay, that's one.
And then the other map,
Now let's try the other one.
what is it called? It's called compute proxy, blah blah blah. This returns the font file data map. Oh yeah, and looks like we lost the new name in the process. Where is that?
Because you're calling it that, right?
I'm checking. Ah, yeah, I think I know.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
That step you missed.
yeah, I missed removing, like, I missed
Okay,
this.
that's fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just checking because there is.
Okay, so commit that as a separate step.
Okay. All right. Then. Okay, then I'm doing this after this. So first, I'm just going to commit this, and then I do the other thing, commit, and then go back. Is that fine?
Okay. Okay. It's not
Uh,
great, but I'm with you. So you
broken.
really did break the code right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Ah, shit. Git commit. So broken, and then
So do
what
you
do we?
want to do that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it, honestly. Like, is that bad? I mean, I know that in the next commit,
Okay.
I'm going to fix it, essentially, so I'm fine with it.
I if you're okay, if you feel confident, that's great. If you feel regret in 20 minutes, that's a good thing to learn from.
We'll see. Uh, so use a new function. No, remove old code and use new function. Something like this. Is that enough? Or is that very
Sure. Yeah.
generic? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So then we need to find this
I don't
thing.
disagree.
All right. This. So do we want also to remove these unused functions now or not?
Well, so again, this is where I don't know TypeScript. If it's just a warning, then don't do it now, but do it soon. If it's an error, do it now.
Yeah, it's an error. Okay.
Okay.
We have
And to me,
this.
that's part of the step that created the error.
So you would amend, right?
My preference would be to make it part of the step that created the error because I don't want steps to create errors. But we're already there now, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Then I will amend just because it's simpler. And I
Yeah.
didn't add anything
Yeah.
first. Uh, okay, so that's done, and then we can do the thing. So, no, we don't want an await,
Yep.
we just want compute. This is this,
Yes.
so we'll have to do some renaming, that's fine.
Hmm?
Okay, and then just at the bottom, we need to say this thing is this, because we've changed the name and this is still used somewhere else. Okay, and now everything is green, which is nice.
Got it?
Okay, so I will also
Okay.
commit that, amend that, I guess.
So please do. I'm not. I've lost track, so we're relying on you now.
Let's say it's fine. So we have been. Okay, I need to. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. All right, then let's run the test and hope that they work. Oh yeah, they work. I hope the tests are not too bad, but it's pretty encouraging.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah, same.
On the one hand, that doesn't surprise me. On the other hand, so many of those steps were relatively unsafe that I'm glad that your familiarity with the code saved us from making serious mistakes.
Okay.
Because the risk is really that if that failed the test, we probably don't know which step we made a mistake in.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
And then we would spend, I don't know how much time trying to search for where we made the mistake. Okay. So
Nice.
we want to get to we'll want to get to a finish line as soon as possible. So my first question to you is: are there things in your head which need to get out of your head right now? Do you need to write
Uh,
some comments? Do you need to make some notes?
I guess one thing would be like look into extracting this function or renaming this function. Uh, One thing would be also look into moving this.
Write them down. Don't list them. Write them down.
Okay,
Don't
like
don't
as
lose information.
okay as to
Yeah.
do comments, it's fine. Okay. Um,
Yeah. Add comments or write notes on paper, whichever makes you happy.
okay.
Right. That's an obvious next step. Yep.
Something like that. I mean, even just okay. Yeah. Oh, and also
Okay.
this we don't need the underscore anymore because this is used and TypeScript won't complain.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
fine. Then I'm fine with the name in this case.
So did
Yeah, I
you
guess.
change the name and did you use the rename
Yeah, yeah,
methods?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. It made it's automatic.
Then commit commit the renaming without the comment.
Okay.
This is where we should teach you lazy git, but go ahead.
Uh, okay, and then I can restore this.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, honestly, that's
So
the
yes, now keep getting
only.
stuff out of your head. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest outstanding thing. Maybe the other one, maybe is this. Uh,
Yep.
Update the returned. I'm going to do something like that.
Is that saying no or now?
It's a no.
I don't understand no. Oh, you mean stop renaming.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, okay.
yeah, and the rest. This is maybe this one's closer to usage because these things are unrelated to these two
Okay.
functions.
Yep. Yeah. The dash P would have worked too, but the part of the reason I use lazy git is because I can never remember how to use git add dash P. Lazy git is essentially all the stuff that you get in your IDEs just without the IDE. So you can use it from anywhere. Part of the new trend towards uh, um, ncurses text-based interfaces.
I feel like these functions still do a lot of work, maybe too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost certainly. And that's part of it, right? Is that one of the? But let's not go there yet. So what else? What else needs to get out of your head?
Yeah, something like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's enough for now.
Okay. Uh, what were those code changes?
Mhm. Sorry?
I thought I saw code changes, not
Yeah, it's
just
just formatting. It's just like a little commas.
oh formatting. Okay.
Yeah, so it's fine.
All right. Oh, the whole thing where it'll get rid of the trailing commas from for you, even though you probably want to keep them.
Yeah, trading commas. Huge JS drama.
Yeah. Okay. So commit.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right. So we ran all the tests. So as far as we know, we didn't break anything obvious. Um, just for my information, uh, if we made a mistake in there, how would we discover that?
There are other tests than the one we ran, so maybe this would be caught. Those would be
Okay.
failing.
Okay.
Uh,
So if we merged and then pushed to the rest of the, like if you squashed whatever you wanted to squash and then we merged the PR, then some bigger test suite might catch the problem.
the problems would be caught on the PR directly. We ran the test straight there.
Okay. So that would be whatever the merge tests are.
Yeah,
Assuming that if all those pass, what's your confidence level that we didn't make a mistake on a scale
honestly,
of 1 to 5?
5. I'm very confident.
Always. Okay, yeah. I'm always going to ask for the honest answer. Um, okay,
And
so that
oh,
feels good to me.
yeah, I note one thing will fail on the PR, which is
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, maybe not, but okay. It's like we have these functions which we don't use anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
since we use them in tests, we won't have any complaints from linting. But ideally, we should get rid of these functions if they are not used, and like remove the
Okay,
tests
so
for these functions as well.
there are now some obsolete tests.
Obsolete tests and obsolete code. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if we remove the text, then the code becomes obsolete. So, all right, let's not lose that information.
Oh
So
yeah,
write that down somewhere.
and I also note first to do uh, tests these new functions because we had tests for these things like normalized remote phone
Yeah,
faces.
we might and might not want to do that. Yes. If you think there are some tests missing, then you might prefer to write tests directly for those functions, um, or add new tests for orchestrate. Up to you.
Okay, I would test the function directly, I think.
Okay. Certainly, at least, um, yeah, I would feel comfortable, very comfortable, testing the compute proxy URLs and less comfortable testing the remaining junk drawer, just because there's still some
Yes.
additional behavior in there. I think the compute proxy URLs is more likely to be stable,
Okay, so yeah,
as in not change, not as in working.
I
Okay.
think I have
Anything
all
else
the.
that needs to get out of your head?
No, I think it's fine. I will open a draft
Okay. So
PR.
push the branch. All right. So before we go any further, oh, you want to just do it right now? All right, go ahead.
I mean, at least just
You don't
in
want to squash before. You don't want to squash first.
no, like usually what I do is I keep all the commits but with squash on merge of the PR.
Got it. Okay, understood. Thank you.
Mm, okay. I mean, I really need to go then. So I will just like note to
Yep. Get stuff out of your head.
I think the code part is done. Tests need adding. Uh, actually, come on.
You really want to rush this, or should we just let this sit on so that we can finish and you can go?
Yeah, no, I kind of need to go. So yeah. I mean, I just
Okay.
will let
So let's not
it.
rush this.
We'll just let it here. New ones.
Let that sit. Okay.
Remove old ones. Then change set. Then PR description. That would be the tasks.
Okay.
I mean, we can still edit it later.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Amazing.
Okay. In that case, since you need to run, and as you have comments about how this went,